Happy Smart Love Sunday. Welcome everyone to this special edition of Smart Love. I'm your girl, LaDonna. I am super excited about today's Smart Love Sundays. This is a special single future wives edition of Smart Love Sundays. So today we're sticking to our theme of the war on Black love, but today we're going to get a perspective from our single ladies. Now, these women that I'm bringing on today are very close friends of mine. I'm bringing them on because we, as a collective sisterhood, defy like all the myths that are out there about Black women and how we feel about relationships and love and how we show up in our relationships. So I'm super excited to hear their perspectives, to share our experiences, and really to show the world how incredible our Black women are, especially when we get together. We just have this great sisterhood, this bond that is amazing, and we're all looking for just this magical Black love that is we're all fighting for. So I'm super excited. So today I'm actually going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be taking a back seat, and actually I'm going to be a guest, and I have a co-host that is going to help me moderate everything. So I'm super excited. So let me first start by bringing up my co-host.
What have I got myself into? Go ahead.
Welcome, Mr. Date Night Online.
What's happening? What we doing?
What we doing? We doing
Sunday.
Yes, we're doing Smart Love Sundays. You're going to be hosting. Do you want to shout out your platform? I know all your people are going to be joining us as well. So
Right. So my platform is Date Night Online. You can catch it on Instagram, Date Night Online TV, Date Night on YouTube. So we everywhere, we everywhereans. We try to be on all platforms, we streaming everywhere. What we do, our objective is we come from a learning standpoint. We definitely can feel both sides can learn something. So tonight we will be learning some things. I will be learning some things. And again, here's my disclaimer: I'm not a expert. I'm sure not a dating coach. I'm not a matchmaker. I'm just a dude with a mic, and I may have a few questions. I'm just trying to learn. So I will provide a learning space. This is this is no knock on any gender. We're just gonna be real tonight.
I
A
love
brave man. You're absolutely correct. I am a brave man. Go ahead.
it. All right. Without further ado, I'm going to bring up my ladies. First, we have
That's me.
Duchess.
Hey, what's going on? How are you? Nice
Hi.
to see you, LaDonna.
It's so great to see you. I'm so
Yes.
excited to have you here. This is like your third podcast this week, right?
Right.
Listen, listen. Hey, Mark, thank you so much for being that brave man. And yes, I am loyal to you, LaDonna. And Mark happened to ask me, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. He told me I have a story, so I'm a believer.
This ain't it. We'll talk about that later. We need you one on one. But go ahead, finish it. Whatever you got going on.
All right. Coming to the stage, my girl Jamira, also known as J. Wow.
How y'all doing?
Yes.
Hey. Thank you so much for coming on. I know I just asked you on Friday and it's Sunday. And you know what? You were such a great sport. You were like, let's do it. Let's go.
I
But
like it.
also, everyone, Jamira is the one that has been in my ear, like, you need to do this. You need to go live. You need to do Smart Love. We've talked about this probably for the past year and a half. Nothing happened. So I had to bring her on as one of my special guests because you know what? We're all looking for the same thing. Not the same man, but the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody said, "Wow." I hear "wow." I wonder what they wow in Jamira or what they
Hey,
wowing over
wow.
there.
See
Good
me.
Lord, we ain't even started.
Yes.
Yes, come
Jeez.
on, come through.
See me. Thank you, LaDonna, for having me on today.
Yeah, I'm super excited. So, Mark, I'm going to turn everything over to you. I am a guest now. I am no longer hosting. Um, full disclaimer, like I just, the reason why I wanted to take a back seat is because as a host, sometimes you can't, you kind of have to, kind of stay neutral and you can't be, more leaning towards one way or the other. So I really want to be transparent in this discussion. I really want to represent, exactly how I feel, my point of view, my experiences. And I thought the best way to do that would be on this side of the hosting table. So
Right. So I'm gonna definitely tell you, you have to definitely be a very humble person in order to step into those shoes, kind of step back, to recognize maybe you can learn something. And I do understand that, being a host, you got 15 things, going on at one time. And sometimes you can miss some things, but guess what? Tonight you're gonna get it. A show. You're gonna
I
get it.
appreciate you, Mark.
All right. So okay. So guess what? The only person I don't know is Jay Wow. Jay Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Jay Wow, let me go ahead, Jay Wow.
Me and LaDonna have been friends for I met her when I first came to Atlanta, so we've been friends for about 12 years now. We've traveled to a lot of places together. Yes. I'm a business owner. I make wigs, so my tag is at harrellhair.com. So my Instagram page is Harrell Hair. So yeah, I make wigs in Atlanta. I'm from Virginia, and I've been here for about 14 years now.
Okay. You got one more. You got one more year before we do our Atlanta, Georgia peach ceremony. Okay, you got one more year. You're year 14. One more. We're gonna give you.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. I don't think I'm going nowhere anytime soon, so I think you guys.
We're gonna have a ceremony then for you. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna stick. I'm gonna hold you to
that. I didn't get my peach. Where's my peach? I nobody gave me.
Guess what? This is not about you right now. Right, this is me and Jay Wild talking. Just be a picture. You're a picture right now. Wow. Hold that glass, just like there you go. All right, now Jay Wild. Since I don't know you, tell me a little bit about yourself. Are you single, in a relationship, dating? Where are you right now?
Yeah, I am in a relationship with me and God. That's about it. But I've been single actually for a long time. I'm not gonna give the number, but I've been single, meaning one. For a while here in Atlanta, but I'm okay. I've met a lot of amazing guys, and we just never, to this point, got to the point where we wanted to take it to a step further. Relationships are very important to me. Friendships are. So,
what's the most important thing about a relationship to you then? Since you brought that up,
it's the friendship, and that's because even with friends, like how we're friends now, it takes you go through a lot, and those things are very important to me to have to be able to go through to understand who your partner is. So sometimes you don't have to live in the same house as a person. You can know somebody for a couple of years and learn a lot about them. So for me, a lot of people have got put, into the friendship zone, which is good. I mean, good relationships, but not, nothing outside of that. So
okay, all right. So his question I always ask this. So from your perspective, how do you view the dating scene right now from your own perspective? 1 through 10, 10 being the best.
10 being the best as far as making a successful relationship?
No. How do you view the dating scene?
I think it's a big dating scene out here.
Okay, so 1 through 10. 1 through 10.
Okay, a 9.
Okay, so that means you're very optimistic about dating, correct?
Right.
With a 9. Okay, good. Yeah. All right, when the last time you been out on a date?
I don't go on dates.
Okay, so what are you trying to do?
What?
Like, what are you doing?
Okay, listen, see, I don't want you to get me misunderstood, okay?
No, we're not. Hold on. Let me give you a disclaimer. This is our first time talking. So listen, this is no judgment zone. I come from a good space. Even if you don't like some, I'm still coming from a great space. Okay. I'm not a blue pill, whatever pill type of dude. I don't know what type of Viagra pill. I don't know what they're taking. But my question to you, here's my question. My question to you is, what are you doing? Like, are you going out on dates? When was your last date?
2 months ago.
And how was it?
I went out on a date, meaning that I went out with a male. So yeah, it was 2 months ago.
Okay, 2 months ago. Okay, and how would you rate that date? 1 through 10, 10 being the best.
10 being the best was about a 7.
Okay. And what made it a 7?
Because we had a great time. We had a great time, and I would call him again, and we would go out again.
Okay,
We
so
had a lot in common. We had a lot of things in common, and we liked a lot of things as far as like music and activities. So I'm glad I did meet him.
Okay, so you think you probably met a friend, right? You remember you said you were looking for a friend, right? Okay, so would you consider him? Or you can. Well, he may be here, so we're not going to talk about him right now. He might be looking, right? We need to keep this under secret, all right? So look, so no. Okay, so let me ask you this. Okay, so if you're looking for a friend, so you're open to possibly a relationship, right?
Right.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Where you are. Okay, great. All right, so Duchess and LaDonna, starting with LaDonna. How do you view the dating scene 1 through 10, 10 being the best?
Okay, so are we talking about quantity or quality?
Whatever you want. How do you view? Hold on, let me bring this up a little bit more. How do you view the dating scene, whether it be your experience, the experience of others? How do you see it? 1 through 10, 10 being the best.
Okay, I would say that as far as volume, I would say it's like I agree with Jamira, maybe like an 8, like a 9. There's lots of people in the dating pool, right? As far as quality, I'm gonna say more on the lower end, like 4 or 5. And I say that because I feel like the dating pool in Atlanta is a little tainted. We talked about this a little bit.
Let me ask you a question. Hold on now. Let's go back up a bit.
Okay.
In your view, from your perspective, why is it tainted? Have you thought about that?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me your opinion on the taintness.
So I think that there are some people who are actually not fully available that are in the dating pool, such as, married, in a relationship, separated. She lived upstairs, I live downstairs, like those types of situations.
Right.
Who like taints the dating pool. There's a lot of like actors, that they can pretend to be what they think women. Well, of course, I'm speaking about the men. I'm sure the women there's some women like this as well, but they know how to play the role of what, the average male or female is looking for. So it's, a lot of actors. It's like becoming Black Hollywood.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Do you or do you not believe that, especially on the perspective as far as actors, do you believe that if you're well balanced within yourself, you can see it before it even gets to a point whereas no one is acting on you? Do you believe that?
Yes, I definitely believe that I have, my discernment is like spot on. It was not always that way.
Right.
But I think that I have the ability to, understand the real from the fake. I think when I first joined the dating scene, like after being divorced, I took everyone's word for face value. I just thought everybody was telling the truth. I'm like, I'm not here telling the truth. Like, why would you lie? Like, I had no idea that was even something that was going on. So yeah, I will say that I'm in a space where I can recognize it.
Yeah, and that typically happens, especially when you're coming out of a relationship or whatnot. I mean, because dating has changed within the last 5 to 10 years, right? It's not the same as it was 5 years ago, and it keeps evolving to something else. Things start looking differently, right? But one of the questions I always ask, and I asked you that as far as people acting. I think what happens, this is just my opinion. I just truly feel that okay, so women definitely like to hear things, but to show things, to see it is very important to women, right?
Yeah.
I think sometimes what happens is, it's just my opinion. I'm not a woman, but I'm just taking a stab. I will say that possibly because you see success through the trinkets, like the cars, the whatever else that may deem to be secure, right? And sometimes women can fall asleep to that, right? And then they don't see the character till later on. That's what an actor comes in, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it needs to start here before it starts here, if that makes sense, right?
It does. And I think that that you're absolutely right. Like I feel like when you first come to, when you first are meeting someone,
right,
I think that, the materialistic things, like that can mean one thing, but it's like you have to really like spend the time getting to know them to verify, like, what I'm saying, trust but verify.
Right.
Type of situation. So I've been in some situations where I just trusted and didn't verify. So I would say that's why at this point I feel like my discernment is spot on. I know
Discernment.
questions to ask. I know what to look for. So yeah.
Okay. So Duchess, what's happening, Duchess?
Hey,
I
what's
seem like we've been at the last 7 days. I didn't see you 3 times, but guess what? I'm glad you
Yes.
back.
Oh, well,
I'm
thank
glad
you.
you
Thank
back.
you so much. Glad to
So
see
for
you.
those who don't know, tell everybody your status. For those who don't know
I'm
your
a
status.
single woman living in Atlanta.
Living in Atlanta. Okay. So I'm like I asked you the rest of the ladies, how do you view dating as a whole right now?
I'll give it a 7.
You give it a 7. Okay, that's good. Okay, why not an 8? What's missing?
What's missing are the men.
Why not an 8?
The
Yeah.
men are missing.
Okay, what do you mean the man is missing?
How did they
That's
get to
such a
be
broad statement. Now
Yeah.
this for
I gave
everybody.
you a broad statement. Go ahead.
No, this is for everybody out here. Now, you just don't throw me an answer thing. I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna ask you how you got there. So y'all make
Of
sure
course.
okay. So
Of course.
So what you mean by the men?
Well, let me say I answered it the way that I did because you asked a question to rate it from 1 to 10. And so I didn't go around to tell you the reasoning why. I just answered it first to give you a 7. That's what you asked for. So
Okay,
now,
so why not an 8?
not an 8 because I just don't see that there are a multitude of men that are out there available. I don't feel like, and it's possibly perhaps the places that I am, maybe they're just not there, but I don't feel like there is a lot of men available for us.
You know what? I hear that. I hear that a lot about women. I think LaDonna kind of mentioned that. Do you feel the same way too, Jay? There's not a lot of available men.
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you got 2 women that say yes. Okay, so why? Okay, so what do you? Okay, as far as availability, why do you think like? How did you get there? Why are you not there? Because I hear a lot of women say that, but how did you get there for your sisters out there?
Is that for
The
me, Steve?
availability. No, I'm sorry. That's for Jay. I
For
wanted to touch
J-Lo.
that part.
Oh, I'm sorry. Say it again, please.
You
I'm
said
sorry.
something about you think there are some available guys out there, right? I mean, you think availability is not a problem.
Well, I was saying no, they're not available.
Oh, okay. So
it was
okay.
unanimous.
Okay, so what's not available is my question. That anybody can answer that. What is availability? I'm a man. Duchess, what is Duchess? What is an available man? What is available? What are you seeing? Like because I know a lot of guys that are available, so I'm trying to figure out what y'all see.
Availability to date and pursue the end game, which is either a partnership or marriage. I don't see that there are a lot of men. A lot I see are already taken. They are already invested in someone else. So I don't see the negative side of that, but I just see a lot of them feel like they don't match with a lot of women. So maybe we aren't available and ready for them as well. I see that they feel like, well, I'm still single because I haven't found someone to match me. So it goes both ways. So that's what I see.
Right. Let me ask y'all a question, especially Don. Do you think for the things you desire in a relationship, when you say they're available, do you think you're counting like a large a part of men out with that particular type of thinking? For example, would you date a man in his mid-60s?
Hold on, wait. That you just switched it up on me. Okay,
I did because I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay, so no, I do have a age.
What's your age limit?
I do have an age bracket that I like to date in, but I did want to clarify what I meant by unavailable. Can I do that? Is that okay, host?
No, I'll need you to answer this question first, then we can go back to that.
Okay, all right. So no.
What?
No, I wouldn't date anyone in mid.
What's your age bracket? You go ahead and go into that.
Bracket is like, I would say like 38 to 59.
Okay, what about yours, Jay? What's yours? Or do you have one?
I'm not gonna. I'll date someone 60 something.
60 something. What's the youngest you'll date a guy?
Probably 35, 37.
All right. What about you, Duchess? What's your age? limit?
My age would be probably, I would say 45 to, let me say this real quick before I answer the 60 something, because I was just, and I'm not saying any names, but my friend of a long time just introduced me to her mate, and he is, I believe, and if I'm wrong, she's probably watching, 65, 66. Official.
Okay, so what is it? Okay, so
I'm gonna say, I'm saying this. I'm looking at my women friends on the panel, like, don't listen. But wait, so I'm gonna say 60.
60. Okay.
60 is pushing it.
Okay, so so this going back. What's the youngest you'll go? 40, you say?
I'm like a 45-ish. I don't want too young. I just don't want too young because it might be too much asked of me that I'm like, oh, I done already did there. Ain't gonna be able to do all of that no more.
Right. So. They might want kids. It's a lot that comes with like young.
I understand that.
But I still would like to qualify.
Okay, I'm gonna get to you. I don't need to go to Jay real quick. I just want to make a statement. I'm gonna move to LaDonna. So, so based upon you guys' range, right? I would think Jay would have a high probability of available man based upon her age gap, right?
Okay,
so
we don't have to qualify what available means.
No, I'm just no. Well, you make a lot of men unavailable due to their age, so let's stay there.
That's not what we're talking about as unavailable. That's why I want to define it.
Okay, watch this. Okay, give me a second. What I'm saying to you is that the parameters a lot of times allows us not to expand your pool, is my point. So now, since Donna is biting at the chops, get this over with, get the shit out so we can move on. Go ahead, Donna. What's your definition?
Thank you. Okay, so what I meant by unavailable men, there's two categories. There are the married men who are, there could be a transition, something's going on to where they are not ready for a relationship, not on the level that a single person is, right? So that's one category of unavailability. And then there's also the category of, well, I'm, in this space where I just want to play. I just want to, I don't want anything serious. I just want, a casual relationship, or I want the benefits of a relationship without defining it. Like, so that's what we mean by unavailable. So the age, I don't think has a lot to do with that, why those men are considered.
Okay. So but you don't allow. So in order for you to have a relationship or a date, you have to get in front of as many people as possible. Can we all agree?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you shorten the age, I'm just going somewhere with this. What happens is your age range gap, if you stay within a certain range, on top of the unavailable dudes, that's also can be an issue too as well. It's my only point, right? Because you only stop but so far. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you get you don't understand that concept?
I do understand that, and I'm just going to say this to piggyback off of LaDonna and then kind of bring this together. Yes, we're saying that you asked us a point blank question, so we're giving you the answer. But now, if a gentleman that comes that is 37 and she's like, "Oh, but he's," and we're connecting, and we this, and he, she has a list, and he fits that bill. The age goes out. That's not what we don't look at the age first, Mark. But to answer your question. Bang, bang, bang. Yes.
Yeah, I understand you guys aren't looking into age. What I'm saying is the point of finding someone is the amounts. This is like sales, right? The more people you get in front of, the more successful you'll be, right? So that's all I'm saying. I get all the other stuff, right? I believe me, I get it, right? So let me ask them: who's been the two friends the longest on this panel? Who's been the long?
And Dutch.
You and Dutch, and how long you and Jay been friends?
Probably. Wait, what did you say? I don't know the years. You want me to count?
Okay, don't worry about it. Okay, so look, so check this out.
Like over 10 years.
Okay, great. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. Right, this is friend time. Between the scales of 1 to 10, how would you rate Dutch's choice of men that she's dated alone? I ain't talking about relationship. Like someone she told you about, or someone you saw, what would be as far as her dating choices, 1 to 10, 10 being the best? What would you?
Based on what?
Wait, hold
based
on.
upon how you feel.
Right.
Like, okay. So let's narrow it down for you. I'm sorry. So we all have an opinion on how our friends date. Will we agree or disagree?
We agree.
You should, if you care about your homegirl, you should care, right?
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
about caring, right?
Yes.
All right, just want to make sure. So out of those choices, right? Out of the choices that she make, how do you feel with her choice of men that she's dating between 1 and 10? How do you view that? Her choices, like
Be
for
honest,
instance,
ladies.
be honest, right? Let's be honest.
Okay, so you said not in a relationship, dating. What did you?
Dating. We're talking about dating because we got to we got to date first before we
Okay,
get to
so
anything else.
I gotta pause you right there. Duchess doesn't date.
Okay, so there
Duchess
you go. So that's a zero.
She goes into relationships. That's what she does. I've been
Next, she said what she said.
All
I've
right,
been trying
so
to encourage her to date.
Okay.
No, for real. Like
Okay.
this is a real conversation that we have.
No, I believe you. Right. So how do you feel about her not getting those opportunities? How do you feel? How do you feel about friend to friend? How do you feel about that?
Friend to friend, I feel like she needs to date more.
Okay.
Thanks, friend.
Yes, and I feel
Right.
like her options would be vast because she's such an incredible woman. There's so many men that would love to date her, but she is like she finds the one, or they find her, and she next you know she is locked in. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but you know, based on the outcomes, it's not a good thing currently.
Right. Okay.
Love you.
Jay,
Love you back.
Jay, what advice would you give your friend Duchess as far as jumping out there and going on dates? Like, what kind of advice would you give her? Because again, you just heard LaDonna just say she goes from hey to when we marry. Now, not that extreme, but she goes to that to a relationship. But what kind of advice would you give your friend on someone that does not get out and date?
I think I say the same thing. Probably date more, but she knows a lot of male friends, so I don't know if I could say that either. You know, based on what I know, I don't know much about either one of their mates. When we're hanging out, with amongst each other, and we don't know. For either of them, I don't know much about.
What about their ideas on dating?
Yeah, they bring me out. So of course I agree. Like when I go out with them, it's probably most of the bigger experience that I have that involve men. So
yeah, we're like each other's dating coaches. Like, to be honest,
the
caliber of people that they have introduced me to, I can say is a great caliber of men, and that's collectively for the both of them.
Okay, so talking. Okay, so you guys talk. Okay, so let me ask you, what's the most for you, Jay? I'm gonna ask you this: what has been the most valuable relationship or dating advice LaDonna has given you since you guys have those conversations? What's the most valuable thing that you've ever heard her say?
Go out there and get what you want, and don't be scared.
Okay. Okay. And so, what is it that you want?
I want what everybody wants.
Okay. You want what now?
I want what everybody wants. I mean, that's pretty basic. You know, I'm not going to get into detail about the thing. You know, you asked me because I mean, I could go on. I could say personality. I can say all of these things that's commonly said.
I know.
So I'm looking for someone that I probably could spend a companionship, friendship is the big part. Like I said in the beginning, for me, someone that I could really let my hair down, you know, that I can really trust. Because I know a lot of times people start lying when they get in relationships,
right?
And that's because they're protecting this thing called love, right? And it's from the friendship kind. So the relationships that I have been in, which is not a lot, but they were long relationships, but our friendship became distance that we had before as we got closer in love, and that's kind of tore us apart.
Okay. So look, check this out. So when someone what you have said, I can definitely agree those are similar in probably most people, right? So if someone's to say, and this is just for here's the thing. Once we condition the mind, everything that we desire, we will receive it, right? So sometimes that means we have to go a little bit deeper, right? As far as what we want, right? For example, right? If someone asks me, this is just my own example, and I'm going to get back to some other questions I have. So for me, it would be, Mark, what is it that you want? I want a woman that will actually grow, because some people are stagnant, right? I want a woman who is flexible in beliefs, right? That's important. Because when I mean by flexible in belief systems, not just, if you hear another idea, even if you don't subscribe to it, guess what? Respect it, right?
Right.
That's for me, right? And then
Belief
three,
as
go
far as
ahead.
like religion, like what do you mean by beliefs?
Belief systems, whatever a belief system is. A belief system is not always a religion. It can be a thought. It can be anything, right? It's something enlightened, correct?
Okay.
And then third would be someone that allow me to be me, right? Who am I? I'm a person that can be loud. I'm a person that can be whatever, right? So my thing, the reason why I asked that, because sometimes when we want to be in a place, we got to dig a little bit more deeper than the most surface thing. Everybody wants someone that's trustworthy, I would hope, right? Everybody wants someone that is caring, etc. But what is it? We don't have to answer this today, but what is it outside of that, the deeper things that we can actually dig into to figure it out? Because then what happens is your mind switches over, right? And then when your mind switches over, then your belief switches over, then you start attracting those things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I can speak on it, and I can speak on it only because I've been in that space of coming off of relationships, a bad marriage, etc. But when I started like going out on dating, y'all, I'm telling you, the one who I was attracting was me, even though they were different. It was me, right? So what turned me was, what is it that I want from the interior? What does Mark want outside of the basic stuff, right? And those are the things I came up with, and I started attracting women like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I asked that.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I know that like when I first started dating, like I had a list of things that, maybe quite a few of them were materialistic. I was like, I got a house, he got to have a house. I got a degree, he got to have a degree, things like that. And then like I would meet the man and not like him.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, and I would, get opportunities to kind of like understand what exactly it is that I needed. So it was like, it wasn't necessarily someone with a degree. It was like more like, intellect, or, I'm saying, I didn't really care about the house or, whether he lived in an apartment, but that fact that he was financially stable, things like that. And so as I went through my dating process, I think I started to really focus more on how the person like treated me, and like how I felt in that relationship. And I would say most of the things that are on my list now are based on that, not the exterior things. And the basic trustworthy, because it's like, sure, yeah, everybody should be trustworthy. Like, who wants to be with a life?
Right. Because compatibility should be on everyone's list, right? But then you have to identify what it is for you. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And it's usually more of a nature of like personality, right? Yeah. That's where you would start. What type of personality do I have, right? So then I identify that, and then you start seeing it when you are on a date. You be like, okay, that person, that's a chick. Like, okay, there's common ground here. So Duchess.
Yes.
1 through 10, 10 being the best. How would you guys talk as far as LaDonna's dating choices and or dating, whatever you think it is, whatever you want to put it. 1 through 10, 10 being the best. How would you say her dating choices would be, or how she dates? 10 being the best.
And we're talking dating.
Dating, right? Because ain't nobody in a relationship up here, right?
Yeah, LaDonna dates. Okay.
Right. Right.
Plural.
LaDonna dates.
Apostrophe S. Go ahead.
And so based upon the dates, and I'll just go to the last 3. Oh gosh, friend. I'm going to say this. LaDonna
be honest.
No, I am. LaDonna dates a lot, and the suitors have not matched. She has a list, so they definitely have not matched that. So her dating is going to be, as far as it's going to be a little low because
oh boy, you can't never get a great answer. Go ahead.
now that's not
I told you
true.
about buttering the biscuits. You buttering biscuits again. We're not buttering biscuits tonight.
Listen,
No,
you
like
asked, when I did it the
1
other way, you had a problem with it. Now I do it this way, you still got a problem. 5.
Go ahead. A 5. Why a 5?
She was trying to explain.
I just explained the 5 to you.
Let me guide it. Okay, why the 5? For those who the back of the class who was late to church, why 5?
The 5 being because she dates a lot, Mark, and the outcome of the dates don't match the list.
Yeah.
5.
Okay.
I'll take that.
All right. Okay. What is the positive? What are some positives about that? What are some positive things?
Are they were available for the date.
Mm-hmm.
That's a positive. They showed up for the date, and during the dating process, the truth came out. So that, yes, she attracted a gentleman who had a great career, few degrees, looked the part, but she didn't get to the part about how they made her feel. On me, on the outside looking in, I saw he was treating her well. He opened doors. He had great conversation with her friends. He was able to work a room. He had that kind of smile like yours, almost like yours, Mark. And he, in the end game, wasn't available.
Okay, so what?
Lied about his availability.
So what type of advice would you give? What type of advice would you give Donna when it comes to everything you said? What's the most positive thing you can say to her right now in her process?
Let me see. I would say communicate more on more of a, like, not that passive aggressive type communication, but communicate more so that the hints mean something.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that? That's interesting.
The hints are sometimes, just for instance, if she's going out on a date with a gentleman, it goes back to availability. He can't just up and jump and do anything. He has to always make plans. And that's kind of like a red, magenta, black, green flag. So, because we shouldn't have to go and be private investigators.
I was just
we shouldn't have to step out. We should be able to believe, and that goes back to asking the right questions.
Right. I think it more so has to do with asking the right question than paying attention more than anything. I really look, listen, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all something. I'm a man. We're not as smart as much credit you guys give us, to be honest with you. Right. I'm just being honest, right? It is too easy. You guys are making it too easy, right? I'm not talking about you per se, you 3 ladies on here, but let's just say if majority always rules when you're making certain decisions, right? It's very easy, right? I think so Jay, I know you're gonna give me one, you're gonna land me on this one. Jay, what is it that you think that what is it that you think that women are bringing to the table that can be negatively impacting dating? In your view, your not your friends here, but just overall, what are you seeing that women are bringing to the table that's kind of dirty?
That's kind of I think the whole list thing, the whole list of things, this boundary crossing kind of list where it's like strike out, because I do it. I think I got so used to being single that it's easier to count people out than to count them in. So sometimes I say, I don't like a person that do this, it turned off, boom, you just missed probably a whole good person because, you have this list from previous relationships that you don't allow it to go to the next thing. But it's like, we're protecting ourselves out here, we're doing the best we can. And all we got is ourselves to protect ourselves and our sisters,
Right,
so
right.
Don't allow people to go past these hurt boundaries that sometimes might need to be understood and broken down, but by the right person and not the wrong one.
Right. That's a good one. So what would be like the one thing you got rid of that was on that list that you'd be like, man, what the hell was I thinking, and just threw it out? Like, what was that? She said, no, I'm gonna keep that one. I'm gonna throw that one. Now, which one you threw away? Now you said you threw something away.
I did. I threw away the whole money thing status as far as that, because I met, like I said, I met the relationships I've been in. It was never even based on that. That's some new status. That's some new status I put up, with growth. You just do it because you're like, okay, now this is my new, this is my new stat. But we're here in Atlanta, and everybody's doing their thing. And I can't say that. I'm from Virginia, and out here it's a lot more successful Black people. So that is like, okay, now that that's not a thing, I can scratch that off the list and say, boom, because it's a lot of people that do have it and just don't have it here. A lot of that out here, or pretending, and it's like, whoo, now I got to go back and rewrite this because it ain't what it seems at all. And I just rather deal with somebody that's not trying to fake it.
Right. Well, okay. So LaDonna, let me ask you, what is it that would you say that women are bringing to the dating pool that's having a negative impact?
I would say past trauma that they have not dealt with, whether it was from childhood or previous relationships. Instead of like taking time. So there's two different examples. So like the women that are bringing it from the past relationships, is like not taking time in between relationships to heal and focus on self and understand, the lesson that was supposed to be learned from that relationship and just happening into the next. That's one scenario. And then another scenario is just like, a lot of hurt and pain and trauma that one person inflicted on them, but because they just never have not been in a relationship or not been at a point where they had to focus on fixing those things, they just carry that into a relationship. And then like it sometimes shows up as anger, shows up as, thinking you emasculate a man, it's just things like that kind of, I feel like sometimes taint the men, and then they come back out to the dating pool and now they're on guard. Yeah, I'm not dealing with a woman that, makes this type of money because she acts like that, like it taints the men as well. Some of that past trauma.
Well, you already know how I feel about what. Okay, so at this stage, I'm not saying I was always like this, but at this stage right now, honestly, there's nothing a woman can do to cause me to knock me off my shit at this stage, right? Even trauma, I just see it and just move out the way. I ain't got to worry about it. You see what I'm saying? Or if a woman lashes out, even when I'm a date, then obviously there's some things that they need to clear. So, verbal abuse, all that stuff, I'm just not moved by it anymore, right? Because I know and I'm confident who I am, So let me ask you a question. I had to just touch on that point about passing that. So, so as far as that particular thing, as far as they being healed, I hear a lot of women, and correct me if I'm wrong, which you probably will anyway. They
if you want me to.
I know, no, not really. But look, so here's my question. My question is that a lot of women are in a component of telling other women to get under, to get over, right? Because this is just my own perspective. Like I hear a lot of women say, well, she needs to doing so and so because she just got out of a bad relationship. Like that, I hear that a lot, right? When you hear that stuff, how do you feel about that particular statement? Because I hear it a lot.
Yeah, that's definitely not what is communicated amongst my sisterhood.
Good.
We're all about focus on you.
Right.
We gonna love on you. We gonna you need that time to yourself to heal. We never say, hey, go get you another. Now, if you just want some DICK, now that's different. But
right.
But we encourage that,
Right.
But as far as like hop into another relationship, absolutely not. We're like, no, take the time. So I think that there is probably women who think that is the best way to get over a man. And again, that's showing the example of what I just said. Like, you're taking the trauma of whatever happened in that relationship, you're going to take it to the next one. And most likely you're going to relive whatever you didn't deal with in that last relationship. So I wouldn't recommend that, sisters.
Right. I wanna touch on this particular comment right here, right? And I've said this before. For those who haven't heard this before, I'm gonna give it to you tonight because this is the one that I think that we have an issue with. It's the podcast that's killing Black relationships too, right? Okay. All right, so check it. The only way this stuff moves around social media is the fact that people want to see it. Right? Right? That's how it works, right? According to the amount of people that want to view certain things, you get in that algorithm, right? And it's going to distribute more out because people is feeding the monster, right? So that's one problem. We're feeding the monster. We're feeding into the monster, right? Those podcasts we talking about, we feed. Even if you want to be nosy, don't be nosy. Look, if you see it one time, don't keep going back and try to see it again.
Right, and share it.
Right, and share it. Like, because what you're doing is, if you see somebody on some BS, never go back to it again. Right? Leave it alone because it's going to keep rotating in the cycle. And then point two, I've always said this, and then we're going to move the Duchess on next. I always say this. Most of these guys y'all listening to on these podcasts aren't used to women. When you a man, you don't worry about what a woman who ain't for you doing, right? You worry about the one you got in front of you, right? See, most of these men are actually talking about what women aren't doing because you don't have a skill set to show them what to do. You're supposed to be a leader, right? You're supposed to be to a point where if a woman is acting in a certain kind of way, there's ways that you can diffuse a woman. I don't care how ugly she looking, right? At the time, ugly meaning to us, ugly is a long day at work, and you going to Publix and you got that thing on your face because you got to hurry and get the kids washed and all this other stuff. That's the ugly look to us, right? So as a man,
what you mean? I know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, you can't see it because you're using it. Right? You got the mask on. So the ugly look is the frustration. You've been working 9 hours. You going to Publix to get your sandwiches because you don't feel like cooking, right? And then you got to drive. And then as soon as you hit the door, if you're a single woman, you got all that stuff to deal with, right? So what happens is that shows out in public, right? And some men are feeling that just the angry Black woman. No, she's not an angry Black woman. She's a tired Black woman, right? So if she's a tired Black woman, then what you need to do as a male to be like, you know what? Make her smile, right? Tell her something that make her feel good. Matter of fact, if you see, I'm challenging any man out here, if you in Publix or any store, you see a woman that looks that way, buy her some flowers. They're like $10 in Publix, okay? That's $10 in Publix. That may make her feel a certain kind of way. Now, you might not get the number, don't get mad, but at least do that. Go ahead.
Can you back up what you're saying? You're saying that women who are like frustrated, tired, just showing up angry when you say ugly? Because I didn't know I thought you were talking about physically ugly.
No, I preface it by saying I'm not physically. I say that first.
I'm sorry.
Right, you need to put that true serum up, that loose juice you're drinking over there. So this is what I'm saying.
Why can't I ask?
So ugly meaning that the ugly energy, but most people are just frustrated. Okay. Gotcha. Right. Because what's ugly to me physically may be beautiful to somebody else. So I can't hold that. Right. Okay. So my point is that my only point is that with some men, because they don't have, honestly, again, going back to the podcast, you're listening to these guys, understand this. They were the ones in school you didn't talk to. They didn't have a way to talk to you. Right. You notice they're around a keyboard or in front of a computer without the opposite sex that has sense across from them. Notice they pick the ones that usually young, don't really know where they're going from, all these things, but they never bring a woman that's on her square. That's for a reason, right? Because they can say whatever they can to them, but a real woman is hard because they don't have no comeback. Yeah. So my only thing is what I'm saying is this is plain and simple. Whatever they tell you, don't buy it because it's those guys who ain't never had enough practice in understanding who you are as a woman and know how to diffuse the situation. So if you allow those type of people to get on you, that's your fault, right? It's your fault now because you got to know who you're dealing with, right? Art of War, understanding your enemy.
Yeah,
right? Read it.
Yep, and I understand that. I think that like the whole point of this like War on Love series that we've that we've had these conversations, like often like it's the war of course started way before any of us were born. It's like outside of us. It was,
Right.
they threw a bomb in the Black community and like just watched
Right.
the fallout, right? And so we're like starting to um take on, I think Brother Stanley said, it's like we're starting to take on the thoughts of the enemy about ourselves because we don't know ourselves. So we start to everything that they're saying about us, and we start to say it about us as well. Oh, Black women this and Black women that, Black men ain't shit.
Right.
Right? And then so it's like we're feeding into things that was not our story, that is not who we are, but we are spreading it, right? Because now it's clickbait. Now it gets the most, shares, likes, things like that. I know I put up a post the other day that Essence did where it was Usher, Russell Wilson, and
We'll say Russell Simmons now. Go ahead.
Russell Wilson and the other guy, Idris, I can't remember his last name. They were like celebrating Black women, and everybody was like, "Oh, this is so beautiful!" Lots of likes and shares. One woman comes on the post. She was like, "Well, he married he married a white woman. Don't believe him, sis. Like he really would just wants your money. He wants you to buy his albums and come to his concerts." And I just responded to her. I said, two can be true. He can marry a white woman and still love Black women. His mother is a Black woman. His children are by a Black woman. Like he can still celebrate Black women even though he married a white woman. Like that doesn't negate it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, but she tried to bring down the celebration of Black women with that statement. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we it's real. Programming is real. It's almost like listening to the song you hate, and next thing you know, you love it. It's the same thing, right? It's still a psyop, right? And but one of the things that I do want to touch real quick is that yes, this is the reason that we're doing this series to understand what it is. But in order for you to connect with the past, I want to let you to know what's going on now, right? So you can work backwards, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to work back tonight, right? We're working back. We got to identify what's going on right now this day for you in order for you to connect on what's going on later on. That's the only way we're going to know it, because most people can't, because I will understand, like a lot of people have so much stuff on their plate to really go back and really do the work on what happened before. So let's go ahead and get them conditioned to what's going on now. They can feel that more, like with the podcast and everything that we're definitely saying, right? And then two, I'm gonna go ahead and say this, and I was gonna say it after Duchess, but I'm gonna say this, fellas. This is an example of women learning how to be accountable. That's why I asked this question, right? So, Duchess, in this accountability section, she's a one said list, one said trauma. What would be the third thing that you see that women are bringing to the table while dating, in your opinion?
I feel like some women trying to match the man, like coming in to say that they are equal. That doesn't have to be said. I think that can be a problem, that women come in and say, well, I have 2 degrees and I have this and I have that. And I think sometimes that's too much for the man. They want you to just come in as who you are, and with your head up high. You don't have to say all those things that you've accomplished, because you accomplished them. That doesn't have to be distributed to him as to be matched, if that makes sense.
No, that makes plenty of sense. And that's the greatest thing I thought about when I actually jotted it down. Sometimes we forget. Just play your role, right? We have roles. We have 2 different roles. Most people say, well, gender roles, gender roles. Yes, there are certain gender roles, right? This is my idea, right? This is my idea. And this is something hopefully the fellas can steal. And then the women realize what it is, right? So one, I believe as far as the woman, the female and male side, they work together, because I think women, because they're so in tune with their intuition, etc., they play the part of being able to see things outside the physical seeing, right? For example, you ever been in a relationship, raise your hand, relationship and or marriage, when you sat across from your man, you was like, I don't need you to do that. Don't do that. And then he did it, and then you got to come back and pick up the pieces. Who's ever done that before? Raise your hand. Right.
And then he come back be like, man, I should have listened to you. Now, I don't say, I don't even say I told you so. What is understood doesn't need to be said.
It don't.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be said. It doesn't have to be said. Support. Right. We're there to support each other.
To support. So I look at women as being the spiritual side, right? And with the physical side. The physical side is thing that's going to manifest it so that you can actually see it in front of you, right? Yeah. So, for example, with a relationship or dating, I sure do like to go to Piedmont Park, right? Through conversation, fellas. She's gonna lay it out there, or she feels a certain kind of way there. And guess what? You take her to Piedmont Park, right? The vision, so that's what makes her feel good, right? So then that you manifest it, then that makes them what? It builds what? It builds security, which builds a lot of other things so you guys can move forward to the next stage, right? But my point is that I truly feel like, yes, the roles are simply the spiritual and the physical aspect, which makes one. The women represent the spiritual part, the men do the heavy lifting and making it a reality. Because that's what happens anyway. When we get married, we buy houses according to what makes y'all feel comfortable, right? Because when we put y'all in an apartment, then you're gonna be looking the sideways. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with getting an apartment, but if you desire something, then guess what? The man that is for you is gonna make it happen. Period.
Can I add one to my list? I just thought of it.
Go ahead. I'm gonna call you AWOL soldier. Go ahead, AWOL soldier.
No, that's A1. AI.
No, that's AI, but she just jumping all over the place. Go ahead. Come on back.
This is within the same conversation.
Go ahead.
I think that as women, it would be best if we really communicate our expectations and not expect men to guess or even just really like to set those requirements, because if the man wants to deal with you, he will rise to meet those, right? And so I think that because we just kind of sometimes leave things loose and up in the air and like don't set certain expectations, then we get disappointed when they're not met. And it's like, Damon says it all the time, and I forget the quote. It's like, giving him a test without the answers or something. I forget how he says it, but it's like, he doesn't even know that he's taking this test, but he, is being graded on something that he didn't even, know about. So
yeah, I think I'm out. Hey, listen, understand this as this is just part of it. We have to earn your security, right? We have to earn it, right? And earning it is the dating process, right? Is if you won't listen, it's up because women, you have every right to. I'm just saying this to you ladies. You have every right to feel what you feel, especially before you even know a person, right? However you feel is you shouldn't feel guilty about it, right? Because that person has to break through that particular wall, right? And what I mean by wall, that wall is whoever that was just jumped off. A Dutch probably jumped off. Okay. So she'll jump back in a second. So here's the thing. So never I will say this, never don't ever, the fundamental things, don't ever undervalue those things. The things that mean you the most, right? According to the results. If you're not getting the results you want, always remain true. Here she go. There she go. Hey, you back?
I'm back.
I said
okay.
A moment of silence.
That's okay. I mean, that's okay. So whatever it is you desire, just in closing on that, I wanted to show some accountability, because they always say women are accountable, right? Now I'm just being, yes, you guys are typically more accountable on the back end doing conversations and arguments, right? After this is my opinion, right? You guys will be accountable, mostly is later on, right? It's never on the front end. That's just been mostly in my experience. For whatever reason, I don't know why, right? And it's usually after things are calmed down.
In a court of law. What you mean?
Excuse me?
You got to prove us wrong in a court of law.
I'm glad you admitted that. I'm glad you admitted that.
You ready to stand on it. Where's your evidence?
Right. And then later on, when we be quiet, you come back, baby, you was right.
Yeah.
You right. Yeah, right. You right. Okay. So look, check this out. All right. I have a list of questions here. I'm gonna start with you, Donna. Donna, I'm gonna definitely have to start with you. What do you think is causing you to not find the thing you want most, which is a relationship? Correct? You do want a relationship. What's the one thing that you think is kind of like preventing that? In your opinion, as far as you, accountability again.
Okay. I think that I have like, I don't want to say it's a wall up, but there is like a barrier that you have to get past in order for me to even be like vulnerable enough to pursue a relationship. And I was not always like that. Like it definitely came from my experiences with dating and just kind of like just feeling like I was just, being taken advantage of. And so you kind of have to get to a certain level with me to even get 25% of LaDonna.
Damn. That's a low. Okay. She said 5. 5.
Yeah, because I hear from guys, it's like, well, I don't even know, like, if you even like me, like you just like you so laid back, you this, you that, and like you could take it or leave it. And really, in the beginning, I can take it or leave it. I'm not saying that's a good thing. That's something that I, am working on. But yeah, I don't give you all that I am because I feel like I've been taken advantage of when I do that.
Do you trust yourself?
Do I trust myself?
Yes.
I trust myself. Yeah, I do. No, I don't. I absolutely not. when I'm into someone and like my judgment can get clouded. Like, yeah. So
the defense mechanism is the fact that you may make a mistake. Right? That's what it sounds like, right?
Yeah.
So you don't know it's a mistake until you actually do it. And if you do make a mistake, then understand there's just another lesson. That don't mean you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know if anything is a mistake. You can't predict a mistake, right? You can't. Some things you can, but for the most part, you don't know it's wrong until it's actually done and you see the results, right? So my thing is that sometimes in certain cases that you may be missing out on some good things. Then you ever thought about that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel like I've missed out on anything yet, but I feel like it definitely has.
I ain't talking about a particular person, but you may have, based upon that, you run the possibility. If you have or not, but you do run the possibility of missing out on something, though, right? When you think,
yes,
right. Right now, we're not gonna go back and say, "Well, I missed so and so." He think he was a good guy. I ain't talking about that. Move on. That's just another lesson. Right. I'm not gonna go down that road.
No, you're right. Like I definitely feel like because I feel like like the type of love that I'm looking for, like it is worth the risk, right? Because like, yeah, I have the opportunity like to not, it not work out. Okay, I wasted my time, but like the possibility of like really finding my person and like, that is worth, a little uncomfortableness, like, putting myself out there. But I still, have to have a certain level of security in that person. Like so it's not going to happen right away. I do have a process, but okay, that's certain person.
Yeah, but I think you would feel when you should let your guard down for the certain person or situation. Absolutely.
Yeah, that intuition. Yep.
The intuition, but that's an inner thing. So it's not nothing you would think. You know what I mean? That's an inward work. And I think inward work is so important, y'all. I'm be honest with you. Like That's more important than anything. You know, the list, yeah, definitely, right? But inside is what we all need to try to refine and retool. Jay, wow. So what would you say
for that? By the way, when did we come up with this?
I'm just going by what she put right there.
We call it Jamira.
But I'm
That's your nickname now, because I could have put up
Jay Wow. Jay Wow. So in your opinion, what are some of the things you think that are causing you, as far as companionship or wherever else you're trying to reach with another gender? Like, what is the thing that's causing you to not reach that particular goal?
I really don't know. I know there is.
That's fair.
I know there is some blockage, you know, and I do know what I'm not doing is trying to figure it out. And I never start. I don't know what it is. I can't really convict myself from it, but I do know I'm holding something back from myself that I need to open up. You know, I don't want to cycle. I don't want to cycle anymore. You know.
Right. No, that's fair because that's fair. That's definitely fair, especially if you want to be in a certain space. Relationships and whatever else may not be where you want to be anyway, right? From what I'm gathering, correct? Do you want that?
I would like to. I would like to. I don't feel that I don't feel like it's a missing puzzle, but I would want to feel it and explore it. I definitely want to see what it feels like. I want to see.
So in order to get there, then whatever that blockage you say has to be discovered.
That's right.
I know, but you just said you. Okay, the clarification. Are you saying you don't want to discover right now on live, or you don't want to discover it in your own place and time?
I know that I've been trying to block it. I've been blocking it the whole time. So I'm trying to let that gate down to figure out exactly what it is.
You haven't gotten there. Okay. That's fair. That's you. Okay. So this is for clarification purposes. So basically you're saying is that, yes, you would like it. You understand there's a blockage, but you haven't took time out to try to discover it.
Right.
Okay, great. That's that's a fair answer. Most people try to force their way into situations though. You see what I'm saying? So that they're stuck, right? And they still try to move on and taint the pool. That's how you would taint it. So that would probably be one of the reasons that
that's true.
That may be going on, right? In cases like that. Not saying there's nothing wrong with where she is. The issue is you trying to force a situation and you don't even know where you're at.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So for anybody that may apply to, this is a good lesson right in itself. So Duchess, what would you say would be the thing that's not getting you or allowing you to reach that next step when it comes to relationship and or date?
I would say not setting boundaries.
Not setting boundaries. Explain.
Let me see. Not setting boundaries would be for me is allowing myself to go all the way in. As my friend knows this about me, because I accept a person at face value. So when they come in with the things, I don't have a list. I'm not following podcasts. I don't do any of that. I'm generally believing in old school relationships that you show up, you're a gentleman, you are going to feed me information that is going to allow us to grow together. And sometimes that's not the case. And I don't set those boundaries so that I'm aware of the position that they're in.
Right.
Let me see what else I could say.
The truth.
I understand boundaries.
Whoa.
I just had to say that.
So you don't think
I know that. I didn't say that. I just want to remind you and everybody out there that you're being truthful. That's why I said that. But so go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like I don't set the boundaries, and I'm a believer, and I have to face reality of what it is. Like you said, now this is the now that we're in, and I sometimes say, "Oh, well, he showed up. He was on time. He had on a suit. He allowed me to be a woman." I just look at those things and I take those as that's their true self. So I definitely, for me, need to figure out how to set boundaries and not to bring in work-related issues. Like give all of myself, because I tend to try and separate work from relationship, and I only do that when it is vacation time or I need to figure out how to do that on a daily basis. But I sometimes block myself because I feel like, well, I'm not your wife. So, if I say I'm at work and I'm busy and I'm doing this, you have to be accepting of that and not to, be that on my shoulder where you didn't call me back and what are you doing now? And why are you, it's like, I'm busy. Like I'm doing other things. So I need to figure out how to balance that so that my mate feels that he is appreciated. You will never win when you play.
That's why I need to put these down while y'all talking. Go ahead. You ain't supposed to be reading that.
I thought that was supposed to be for me. That's sorry. But yeah.
Because some of this stuff is delayed, so never mind it. It may be delayed.
Okay, but yeah, for me, it's basically, like I said, I need to set boundaries for myself. I have to remember to do that. I'm always honest, and I tend to put my significant other on that pedestal immediately, without, I need to pause. So for me, I move quick.
Right. So, okay, so this is for all three of y'all, right? Obviously, it seems that this is just my observation. You tell me if I'm wrong. You guys are definitely on the same path, but different roles, meaning same path as far as companionship, right? Okay, so we can all agree that. Okay, so just like anything else, you got to play the role now. You can't play it until you think you're ready, because guess what? It starts now, right? So if we're all trying to get to a certain, line, it starts now, and where it starts at, the things that I asked you guys should already be registered. It hadn't started yet. You see what I'm saying? Because you automatically, I'm just saying, you know yourself, right? You know what you like. I know one thing about y'all, right? One thing about, from what I feel, right? You women are some very strong women. Strong, right? Not in a negative fashion, but strong. You have things that you desire. There's the things you want, right? And you're gonna go out and get them outside of relationships, right? Whatever you desire, you're gonna get, right? We can all agree. And you're gonna prepare yourself for it, right? Before you get it, right? So why not prepare like that when it comes to companionship? Why aren't we already turning that wheel? You feel what I'm saying? Even if you ain't gonna go out on a date, it don't matter. You got to play the part. It's just like trying to be a husband just waiting to be a husband until the day before the wedding. It don't work like that. I'm starting to be a husband now.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know for me, like I have been in and out of it. Like I get my moments like, okay, I'm about to date. I'm going all in. And then I'm like, I ain't got time. I got this going on. So I know I dip in and out.
What you mean by dipping it out? Of actually going out on dates, or you
like the whole process of like, okay, whether it's like online dating, where there's like, entertaining, people that I've met, whether it's, just the whole process. Like sometimes I'm just like focused, like, nope, I got this going on, that going on. I don't have time for dating. And then sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm in now. And then it may last like a week. So I will say,
I wish I had that in me, LaDonna, to do that. I wish I had that in there. I mean, I've never been on a dating app or anything like that, but I wish I had that in me, that I could throw myself in there. You know what I'm saying, Mark? Like you said, how are they going to know that you're ready or see you or anything, or that age range? I don't do that. So that can be a reason why, like, I haven't sacrificed being able to not be private. I'm doing it now, but I haven't sacrificed that. So I think that if I had that ability to get out there and date, that I know that my person and I would have met, but I'm in the house.
Right. Let me put this comment up here. This is interesting. Right brain, left brain. We need to be better men. You can feel and hear their pain and their strengths. Right. One of the, I'm glad I put that up there too, because I actually I'm jotting notes as we talk, and one of the things is that I hear a lot of women say to that point, a lot of women say, I would probably say a vast majority of the women are looking for someone that has leadership qualities, a man that has leadership qualities, or a woman, I guess. I don't know. Nowadays, I got to make sure I cover both of them. But, but as far as like, I truly feel that no matter how you guys are looking at it, I'm sure finding a leader is important. And I will definitely say, and I will admit as a man, that we definitely lack leadership skills for the most part. A lot of men, right? I myself, I'm going to be honest with you. I myself learned how my journey, and I'm not making excuses, but I'm going to give you a little bit of insight, right, for some of the stuff you guys are seeing. And this is not for all cases, but this is the point. I didn't really understand on what the roles of being a man was until I actually dated somebody that was older. And I was engaged to someone. I was 27. My significant other at the time was 35. And she was raised by a father. Right. So there were certain things that I couldn't do. Right. Or certain things that I had to fall in line. One with the age being one. And then, of course, the role of a father. It set certain standards in her, right? And it grew me up, right? Even though that was 20 some odd years ago, as I realized that, I started picking up things along the way, right? I myself a person, anytime I feel like there's any work, is the accountability part. Then at that time, I am one to seek out the things I need in order to get there, whether it be counseling, whether it be friends, whether it be a elder, whatever it is, right? That's just me, right? So I think that a lot of men don't have those skills for whatever reason. This is the result of the single mother. Remember a long time ago when he was growing up and little Johnny, his mama was there, but daddy wasn't. He didn't come to the PE to the program, right? Yep. This is the results of that.
Can I
understand that? Go ahead.
So I know, like with women, we, for some reason, like, I don't know if it's a fad or what, but like we're reading all the books, we're going to the seminars, we're doing all these things to make up what was not taught by our mothers, right? Or just, we just didn't experience it. Like, do men do that? Like, are you all going to, become a man class? Like, is there like a, husband school like out there?
Well,
like sign it up for, like, ooh, sign me up.
Well, I'll say this, just based upon my experience in the whole dating thing. Like when I go to these, it's weird part about it, be single women there too. I don't get it, but women show up to these singles events more than men do. So that leads me to believe, even with my platform, I can pull my analytics right now. My platform is actually supported. 87% of the people that come through me are women. Right? There's regular about 19% for men. I don't know if they hating or they scared. You know what I'm saying? Either one, it ain't for y'all. Then I'm gonna cater to the ones who support me. I'm just being honest, right?
Okay.
You can call it capping, snapping, whatever you want to, but just call it from where you at, right? Don't come over here with it, But I will say this. I'll say that to answer your question, I don't really feel that men are actually getting they're really. And I'm gonna say there's two parts. No, they're not. That is their responsibility to. But why should they? If some women or a lot of women make it easy, why should I?
Yeah, that's true.
I can always get it. I ain't got to go through all this because if you won't, guess what? Somebody else will. Y'all heard that before. Come on now, we're gonna have like it's being real, right?
Yeah, we do. Yes. We set the standard, and we're not doing a good job at it.
Right. And
some of us like out here accepting whatever.
Right.
Well, can I ask a question to you, Mark?
You can ask as many questions you want to.
Okay, thank you. So on a scale coming from you, Mark, I have myself and my two wonderful friends right in front of you.
Absolutely.
Being honest, from a scale from 1 to 10, do you feel like in your personal circle of men that you know that they are available to date women like us?
Okay, my circle is small. Let's start there. But I'm gonna answer your question. No, because I have a small circle. Right, because I don't hang around. Well, you know,
what's the scale of 1 to 10 then?
My small circle probably most of them is 4.
4. So, and living in Atlanta and experiencing these different places that you go to where single men should show up, do you feel like men are available to date women? Do you feel like when you go out or wherever you go and socialize, do you look around the room and say, these brothers are ready for marriage or ready to date or ready to be with my, I mean, do you have 5 men that you know that you, if you had a sister that you could say, I got 5 brothers right now that I would let?
And my answer still no.
Okay. Yeah. So
Just
it goes back,
honest.
ladies, to what we said. We gotta move.
And then events. No, it's everywhere. It's
You from here, so you ain't got 5 people in Atlanta?
No. Time out. It's everywhere, y'all. It's not just Atlanta. Y'all gonna get it twisted. It's in Little Rock. Guess what? It's in Little Rock, Arkansas. You know how I know?
Nobody there.
Guess what? It is. It's a lot of people there. They're saying the same thing y'all saying. You know how I know? Because I interviewed several different, and the vibe is the same. Right? So it ain't Atlanta. You ain't gonna be able to escape it now. Okay, where you go?
There's hope. I have hope.
What is missing, Mark? Like, like when you say that they're not ready, according to, you know, Dutch's question, what is missing? Your opinion as a man.
The influence of a woman is one.
Okay.
That's one. Okay. Also, we don't seek the necessary tools that it is that we desire. We don't want to do the work. Would be 2. We don't want to do the work. I'm being honest. Like, okay, it's just like this, right? If there's some, use the N-word, there's some dude on the couch right now who probably feels certain kind of way that I'm talking to y'all, right? I wouldn't care, but it's the fact that it's just easier, right? It's just easier to obtain what you want. If you want some coochie, you can call some coochie up really, really fast, y'all. but then also the work, like we already know, men, we really don't like we don't like women to tell you what to do, and you sure don't want another nigga to tell you what to do, right? Let's be honest, right? They preachers, practitioners, and politicians, right? They say there's the 3 things men avoid, right? You know why? Because they tell you what to do, even if they have your best interest, right? It's the fact that somebody telling us what we should do, right? And so what needs to happen in those instances, this is for the fellas out there. At some point, fellas, look, at this age, look, whatever you did 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you scored 4 touchdowns in the high school football game. Like, all that stuff is over with now, right? So it's time to be grown. And when you grown is taking responsibility of the situation. And taking responsibility of the situation is to go out and whatever you desire, go out and to achieve. If you want a good relationship, understand what it takes to how to communicate to a woman. Understand that the woman that you're with or you're surrounded by, what their likes or dislikes. Like, study your woman like you study everything else, right? And I think that we don't do that, and that's so important because women are looking for leaders. I don't care how independent a woman is. She's want someone to take that off her shoulders. I done said that about 100,000 times. I'm keep saying it.
Please.
Yes,
she needs you.
We do. And we're not going to tell you what to do. We're going to persuade you. There's a way that we know how to communicate with our partners. Suggestions, you know what I mean? To make it feel, to make the man feel as though that was his idea. You know what I mean? So I don't talk to my mate when I have my man. I don't talk to him. I try to persuade him to do things. You know, what about this? And let's
or encourage. Use encourage.
Definitely.
The persuasive sounds like some old sneaky shit.
I mean, persuasive.
Hey, it's an art to it.
I know, but you don't want to. But see, what we're not going to do, y'all. We're going to let y'all in. Y'all be quiet. I don't know nobody else hear this, but y'all. All right, it's y'all 3. His thing. You don't want to leave no error. Somebody else trigger words for some men. Okay. We sealing it tight for nobody to be like, oh, she said persuasive, she was sneaky. Encouraging. Women want to encourage. Now, Duchess, I'm telling you, it happens.
Oh, you know why I'm doing that is because, and you and I, Mark, had a conversation before about words. Like you said that it was a strong way for a man to hear this. And I said, well, I've dealt with a man that absolutely not, don't. And I thought that was the most nicest, easy way to say something, but some men don't like it. So it's everything is different. You know what I mean? Everything is different.
Yeah.
Every situation.
Absolutely, everything's situation, but
I hear you. Thanks for the tip.
Yeah, as long as I'm sitting here
using our feminine energy.
We want to keep that right. And then I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. These have definitely been some tough questions, and even though it's tough, one of the things that I think that's being reflected that a lot of people don't understand is that there's a way that you can ask tough questions without being an asshole.
You're good at it.
You are. Yeah.
No, you know, I come in peace. I come in peace, though. What it is, I come in peace. So look, so check right, and women, right? It goes back to that. You know, good intentions. Women gonna feel it from the rip. So I don't give a damn what you say. They're gonna feel it, right? And let's stay in the lower space. So look, okay. So guess what? I got something for y'all real quick. We're gonna kind of break it up just for a second. So I got these cards right here. I'm not even gonna tell you the name of these cards because they ain't paying me. But I'm gonna go ahead and just read some of this stuff. These are gonna be some questions, right? Some dating questions, all right? And I'm gonna shuffle them. I'm gonna start with LaDonna. I'm gonna give LaDonna this first question right here. I have not read it or picked them. I'm just gonna pick it right now. Bam. Okay. Okay, this is easy, but I want you to do it and explain. Do you want to be in a long-term committed relationship and explain? That's the question I have on this card right here. Boom. I'm not gonna show you all the name of it because they ain't paying nobody. Go ahead.
Yes, ultimately, I would like to be in a long-term committed relationship. For me, that means marriage.
That means marriage. Okay. All right. So
you said why?
Explain. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So although, my first marriage, I call it my starter marriage, was, it was not my starter marriage did not, it was not fully successful. It was a success, right? Because I had two beautiful, amazing children that are everything, right? But there were some aspects of the marriage that I really liked. Like I liked having a companion to do stuff with. Like I liked having a partner. I like just overall, like with marriage, I feel like in my belief system, like it's about like a partnership of like coming together and like building together. And like I don't want to build on my own. And I really want a long-term committed relationship under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for us too as a couple.
All right.
Right. You know, that's a good answer. I see Star Moore. She said, she said, Mark, the analytics don't lie. Those that come to these platforms to gain understanding on the ones seeking a better understanding in order to move more effective. Absolutely.
Yeah, which
leads to my next one. If anybody sit on this platform, they have not shared, liked, or did anything, you wrong. Why are you keeping information? And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and tell you.
Please share.
Share information, because guess what? The information you receive, even if you use it, right, there's a universal law. If you don't pass it, guess what? It's not going to work for you because it's not for you. It's for you to pass it on to someone else. That's universal law. I don't care how many books you read. If you don't pass that knowledge down to anybody else, it's useless to you, right? Because good things come at the things that you give out, which is information. So hit the like button. Do something. Shoot me a bird or do something on here. You know what I'm saying?
Raise your hand if y'all.
Okay. Yeah. Like it and share it. Okay. So Joy Wow. I love that Joy Wow today. Jay Wow. My bad. I need my glasses. I don't got I have readers, y'all. But I'm doing pretty good.
Let's see him, Mark.
Hell no. Somebody said them gazelles. No, right, because I had them things on for me. I had to see some, Rick. I was like that. All right, so
that link, Dutch. I need to get me some glasses.
Jay, boom.
Yes.
When was the last time you had a serious disagreement with someone, and how did you resolve it? That's so important. It's off this card. The last time you had a serious disagreement with someone, and how did you resolve it?
I did. I had one with one of my good friends, my good male friends, and it was a communication issue because I do have a bad communication issue.
Accountability, fellas. You see that? Go ahead.
So accountable, Jamira. I'm so proud of you.
Go ahead.
I'm starting now. So yeah, and I had to go back to the friend person that I was with before we got serious or we did anything before then. And I had to say, I'm sorry. I want to apologize. I want to apologize because I'm forcing you or not telling you that there's a placement for me in your life, and I'm not meeting that. I'm not meeting it at all. And there's a placement for you in my life. And right now, I'm not meeting what you need right now. That whatever place you're putting me in, I'm not meeting it. And I need us to understand that. Am I willing to, or am I not? And right now, I don't have the capacity to be able to do so. And I have to say that because we either going to end this friendship. It's going to mess up this friendship completely if we don't discuss this. I can't do what you require of me at this time. So what do we do now? Or what should we do now? And he was like, thank you for that. And it was like months of back and forth of non-communication, that almost failed the relationship. But and then since we talked about it, I don't know, after it was so many drinks or something, kind of let the hair down. And I was just like praying, like for some reason, I'm not, I don't want to communicate. I don't know why. I just don't. And I don't want this relationship to go sour because of it. I don't have the capacity to be in that space where you need to call me all the time. And I don't have it. I just don't. I'm sorry. But what do we do now? How do we move forward now? Or
there you go. Qualifying questions are great.
Yeah.
Qualifying questions are great. Especially when there's discourse, because most, if not all, arguments is there has been a clog in communication, right? I found for the most part, right, when you're arguing about something, it's because besides somebody do something blatantly messed up, but typically most arguments are due to the fact that we probably missed something. So let's go back and figure out what it is that we missed, right? Rather than saying, well, that person don't care nothing about me. No, you may have communicated it differently. Because I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Let me say this: the way we communicate and you guys communicate is two totally different ways, right? You guys are speaking Spanish and we're speaking Latin. Portuguese. That too, right? And so whenever there's a disconnect, especially in dating and also relationships, I think the great starting point is to acknowledge where we are and try to figure out how we got here. Yeah, that's so important, right? And that was a good example, though. That was a good example of how to handle that too. I appreciate that. All right, Miss Duchess. Boom. If interview, you know what? This is the card. Look, I got a stack of them right here. See that? I got a big stack over here, but we're gonna go one more round to this. If I was to interview your exes, this is on my list. What would they say about you? Good and bad.
Okay. And so this facts, Mark, LaDonna, I have said this to both of you all. And then I've said it on the reverse. So they would say, amazing. She's amazing. On the neck, and amazing goes enough. I'm not going to keep and hold you on this because amazing, you can go from there. On the flip side, the negative is that I don't provide sacrifices. I am I'm that alpha female that I have to stick by. Yes. I'm telling you what they said.
Why are you putting your hand?
I'm telling you what you said, what they would say.
Right.
Can I, excuse me?
Listen.
No, you cannot.
Can I have my moment, please?
He would say alpha, and I'm like,
neutral.
I am, but it hurts my heart to hear that. Go ahead.
He would say alpha, and I'm saying, me? I'm such the feminine, delicate flower. I'm definitely not an alpha female, but I stand by my beliefs. And so he takes that, and that's what he would say. So overall, and you can call them up, not today.
You don't want to start that cycle if you got rid of them. You don't want to start that cycle. As soon as you
No,
hit them up, they'll be like,
listen.
She called me.
I don't go backwards because that's like walking backwards. And if I walk backwards, I'm gonna fall, hurt myself.
Right.
I don't want to be
Absolutely.
hurt. You know what I mean? So, but I definitely, and this, I can, what they say, receipts to prove it.
You got receipts.
They would say amazing. Can I say this about men? Can I say that too? As I would say, and I've shared with my friends.
We just said amazing twice and alpha once. We know you amazing.
Okay, amazing. But I would say amazing because that's the word that they use 5 times, and I'll need a hand on it. But LaDonna, I've said to you that I always say, Jamar, I just said this to you on Friday. He was a good man. So that to me is like, you could be amazing, but why aren't you married? You could be good, but why aren't you married? Why didn't you finish and go through the race and get the tape on you and shout and CNN and all? Why you didn't get that? So amazing for sure. And with that word that you don't want to hear. And I said,
I want to hear it. I just said it hurt my feelings.
Yeah, I don't like it either because I feel like I'm very delicate, but I said it 5 times. And that 5 times resembles that hand that I need from a man to touch me and make me feel great and to stop me and to say, hey, listen, like I need all of that.
Look at that right there. Look at that right there.
Yeah, so Nikita has a question about amazing. I have
amazing as if I'm amazing to have a relationship with a man. I provide the things that a man needs. I'm a great listener.
What's that? What we need?
She about to break.
We got 3 or 4. It's somebody else that got to do this, right? Nikita, I'm going to answer what you said. Amazing regard that I show up as a total female, engaging. I'm going to be a great listener. I am that woman that I would like to, if I'm out with my man, my friends have seen this. We've gone on vacations and been in regular situations at the house where I am the nurturer, the caterer. I'm going to make sure everything is okay. I provide that. I've never had an encounter with a man where it was in a whole negative situation unless alcohol was involved.
Poor edibles.
All right.
So I have a question. I'm sorry. This is a follow-up question. I know you're the host. Can I ask this question?
Sure.
Can I say something? I'm gonna let y'all do what y'all do, even if I ask a question and then you divert and want to skip over what I asked. Remember this: once the table has been set on who's hosting and you go against it, I ain't gotta say nothing. You're gonna show your own.
To ask.
Go ahead.
Okay, before she says that, Mark, did I answer the question for Nikita?
Don't go ahead, Donna.
Did I answer the question? Did I answer the question for Nikita?
That's Nikita there. I don't forget.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You gave great examples of you being amazing. So can you now give examples of the alpha?
For me to say alpha is because I am direct.
Okay.
Body language, my tone. And if I believe in something, of course, I'm going to speak a little louder. If I believe in something and I feel like I'm trying to prove a point, I definitely use my hands. But when I'm dealing with my mate, I try my best not to seem as though that I'm trying to take over anything. I still play. My position is clear. I know my road. I know that position that I'm in, and I try to stay in that without losing or making him feel that I'm just being a yes woman. I never want to be just a yes woman. I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because that wouldn't be true to him or myself, because we're trying to build, we're trying to grow. And the only way that I can do that is by expressing myself. But at times that can seem like, because I have an opinion, because I have a voice, that it can be seen as being alpha. And you guys can't tell right now, but those that know me, they know how I stand.
How do you stand?
Straightforward. Say it again, JY.
Strong. She stands strong.
She stands strong.
And straightforward.
Straightforward. Well, I believe every woman should have a voice. I do believe that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's good to say silence is more golden than anything you can say. right? So you don't have to always get the last word. Is my point. Not saying you do. I'm not saying you do. What I'm saying to you is that I think sometimes we want to stand on that, how much of a quote unquote alpha female we are. But I always say this: it often backfires, right? Because some people say masculinity, female masculinity. Some people say alpha female. But here's the thing about that, and I challenge anybody to say that there's no such thing. I believe that it's all simulated, right? Meaning that it's not real, right? Because you don't know what it is to be a male. You see what I'm saying? You don't know what it is to be in charge. You don't know what it is to be whatever you think that is, right? Because it's simulated. You just simulating something that you saw another male do, and that's not always good.
Mm-hmm.
Because
And
it's
this is
not
a
real.
platform of 2 hours. You know what I mean? This is a platform. So no one can come on here and say that I am this or I am that. I am here to answer the questions, and you can have an assumption, but that doesn't justify it. I don't walk away. I don't leave here thinking that this is, I know who I am. You know what I mean? So when I hear that alpha, and I've said that about listening on this podcast about people saying things and then they're voicing their opinion. When you believe in something, I believe in love. I believe in Black love. I believe in going through the process and taking my time, listening. I'm a great listener. I believe in all of that. And sometimes we just get that title, but that was a great question that you asked, because those are things that my ex has said about me. So that question coming towards me, I can definitely answer it easily, because this is most recent, where I have a whole letter saying amazing over 5 times. I said it 6 times. And I definitely have him saying that word. And I was like, what? Not me. But if he felt that way, I can't take that from him. He felt that way. And I have to look at myself in the mirror and say, whoa.
Yeah,
hey,
you know what, Dutch?
Nikita must be, hold on a second. Nikita must be really in my head, because that's what I was thinking right there. No one said anything, sis. You were speaking and we are observing. I don't think no one's.
No,
yeah.
I said, okay, let me apologize. So Nikita, I was saying that to you because that was the question that I had read over there. So no, that's not geared towards any one particular person at all. I appreciate your feedback. Thank you.
But Dustin, I think you defending it when you defend a point. You made the point, but then you defended it, right? When you defend a point, it almost looks like you're like
I'm not. I don't care what it looks like. I'm not.
Okay, see now. Okay, so guess what?
Say something.
Like, hold on. Let me say something real quick. So we just heard what we said. So go ahead, LaDonna. Go ahead, LaDonna. Okay. Go ahead. Ask. Go ahead. What you got to ask?
Yeah. So Dutch, I think that this is like a good example of maybe something that you could work on, right? Especially if you've heard it like from multiple people.
What is that I'm working on?
Like the alpha feeling, whatever that makes the man feel like you are trying to be an alpha, whatever makes them label you as an alpha, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because we know that you're not, right? And that's not what you're trying to do, but it's coming off that way. And so I think that's always that's what we want to do from previous relationships, right? We want to learn so that we don't take it to the next. And that was a great question. Like you said, Mark, that was great because it makes you reflect and think. And then as you again, like going to the next relationship, that's something you'll think, okay, well, what can I do differently? Or what, how can I, communicate in my soft, cute little feminine voice that I know that you have, because I've heard it. Like I hear how you are like with your friends, how you are with, at work. And so sometimes you can maybe take that same softness and apply it to some situations with your mate that would negate that alpha female.
Yes, which is what I said when Marq asked the question. And I said that I wish that I could bring some of that from my everyday life. You know what I mean? Because
when you say some of what, I'm sorry, I just want to make sure.
That work thing. But I thought that was a great question, Marq. And I thought that Nikita, I hope I'm saying her name correctly, I thought that her comment was very on point, because we're having discussion. That's all it is. It's a discussion.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so look, one more round, and then we're gonna go into Ask Mark season. All right, we're gonna get it off. We're gonna get it off y'all. Boom. Deladonna, have you ever cheated it? Okay, I swear for God, I'm reading this card, man. You think I'm lying? Look, boom. Look.
Yes.
Have you ever cheated? If not, what was the closest you ever came to cheating?
I got to do this on national TV.
Hey, did you try to do me last? You just tried to get me last week. Guess what? I swear for God, I'm sending these cards. Go ahead.
Where my shades on?
Yeah, I put my shades on too. Hold
Yes.
on, where my shades at? Because there's some shade shit coming on. Come on, let's go.
So, is this a yes or no question? What's the question?
Okay. Have you
Jabbar,
ever
here, put
cheated?
your shades on, Jabbar.
Have you ever cheated? Here's the shades, but I gotta put these up a little bit. Right. Have you ever cheated? If not, what's the closest you've ever came to cheating? I know you're asking cheated, so that last part don't mean nothing. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So I would say this. I am the worst cheater.
Okay.
I have gotten caught before. I've got caught when I tried to double back. I'm the worst cheater, but yes, I have. I will admit that, and I think that that was a point where I realized that I was becoming someone that I did not want to be in that relationship, which was like the final straw for me. Because it was like it was like payback. It was like a little like, I don't care. I'm like out of my character. I'm like on some other, I don't even recognize that person. And that's when I was like, okay, this is it for me. Yeah, I did.
So responsibility goes both ways. Yeah. Right. One responsibility is you got to be responsible for whatever you did as a person, regardless of how someone makes you feel.
Yes.
Right. You should not allow anybody to give that type of power over you. Right. It's funny how, like, and I'm not just speaking on you. It's funny how some women say, well, I'm going to do the things I feel like I want to do. I may listen, but we pick and choose what it is we listen to. But then it's funny because how will you allow somebody's actions put you in a space that you don't really want to be, especially if cheating is considered sexual, right? Why do and I
not
understand why.
Any type of
okay, I'm talking about. I'm not going to men. I'm gonna get to them. Okay.
No, I was saying, like, if a woman has any type of emotional like conversation, like anything with the man, like men feel that is cheating.
Right. Well, yeah, right. Okay, so anything cheating. Well, let's define cheating. Cheating is anything that you're doing that your significant other does not know that you're doing, whether it be sexually or physically or whatever. That's cheating, right? So here's my point. My only point is, even if you lie or you lay, right? If you lie or you lay, you should not allow anyone to put you in a position of doing something that you don't really want to do, right? That's one. Now, on the flip side, women are a reflection of us. We are the sun, you are the moon, right? Everything rotates around the sun. Once the sun sets and he's no longer giving that particular light, the moon will at that point glow. It will reflect on what's going on the other way, right? In the solar system, right? So I can not give it an excuse, but yes, I do understand for the most part, most women do cheat due to circumstance.
Yeah, and I have a disclaimer.
Lord, she's trying to defend her goddamn. Go ahead.
No, I just want to say
some defending asses. Go ahead.
I cheated, but I'm not a cheater.
Right. Because you can go play basketball, but you're not. Right. It's almost like you play.
I'm something that's in my nature. Like, I did it, but that's not who I am.
I'm gonna give you a solid. It's like playing basketball, but you ain't an NBA player. How about that? Same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Damn. She had to think about right. It's the same thing.
It don't really. That's not a great analogy.
It is. It's just like you play basketball. Listen, if you play basketball, that don't make you an NBA player. If you're a cheater, that doesn't make you a cheat. If you cheated, that don't make you a cheater.
I cook.
Don't worry about it.
That doesn't make me a chef.
Right, exactly.
Like it's like one action
Exactly.
Over the
versus
head,
who I
Mark.
am.
Right.
Over the head.
Okay.
Over the head.
So next question, Jay. No, that's dumb. That's
He's
about
shuffling
watching
the cards.
porn. I want. Okay, Well, answer the damn question then.
That's hard.
Do you watch porn? If so, what's your favorite kind to watch? Do you feel porn is appropriate to view while in a relationship? How about that?
I don't watch porn, but if my mate wanted to watch porn, I would watch porn.
You'll
I
watch
have,
porn.
but I don't watch it. Yeah, it's not a.
Do y'all make porn? No, this week. Don't answer that question. No, you answer it, Jay. I'm just talking to you. Okay.
Don't.
You gotta think about it. Well,
She like, oh, hold on now. That time when
I don't record it now. I never recorded. I never recorded before.
Okay.
it don't look the same. It ain't.
Next question.
And fellas, stop sending them dick pics over. Goddamn, I'm gonna call you out right now. Still stop sending them goddamn dick pics. They didn't see enough dicks. Your dicks ain't gonna make them make you call them. All right. Put your porn.
Please, no unsolicited.
Yeah, that's so tacky.
If I ask you, then that's when you send it.
Right. And look, and check it. Let me tell you something. Hey, they didn't see enough of them, fellas. And guess what? You want to surprise them. A good surprise. I ain't talking a bad surprise. You want to give a surprise. If you got it where you think you got to show it when it's time to put it out. Stop being the whipper. Stop being the whipper, okay?
Okay, give to my. Can she get another one? Since that one was so.
See, I read. See, when I didn't want to read it.
Let's
read it.
I'm sorry.
I just read it. You want another one?
Another one.
Okay, boom. What are you? So that's a broad question. When it comes to relationships, I'm gonna put that on there. What are you most afraid of and why?
That I'm gonna end up with the wrong person.
Okay, that's a good. That's I can see that's common, but
Period.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. We can't spend that. That's your own personal experience.
Exactly. Let's do the Marq's thing.
Duchess, you got one more question, and guess what? Here's what I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna start putting some of y'all on timeout now. I got the power to do timeout. You mean how?
Marq,
don't show me. Why you do her? It was
Marq, you told us to come on here and be our genuine self. You see what I'm saying? And then when I tried to, you said, "That's okay. Take me out. Put me backstage."
But don't be trying to move me along. Hold on for a second.
I'll be backstage.
I'm the one that
I'll never be gone.
Well, y'all got Nikita over here crying over here.
Yes, Nikita. Tell him.
I need some help.
Nikita the only one participating. Applause.
We're jumping you backstage.
That's okay. So look, Dutch, it's your turn. Then we're gonna get to Marq. All right, because then that'll be a good time right here. Last question. Boom. What does a typical? That's how typical Friday is sitting at the crib. That's what it says. All right, I'll just answer for you. Do you believe in together before marriage? Do you believe in living together before marriage? Why or why not?
I believe in it.
Okay.
Because that gives you the opportunity to learn each other. And why not? Because
why not?
Everybody needs their space.
Okay, good. Okay.
Space is good. Space is good in the relationship. Men need their space, whether it be man cave. Even if you're under the same household, you still need some space. You still should provide that. You can't be so overwhelming and just always there. Like, you still need a little bit of space. So
right, I agree. Space is important, and space doesn't mean that somebody don't like you that day.
Not at all.
Like, space is just mean especially for men. Not men. Again, you do owe communication. I'm not saying, I'm not saying that you got to be a quiet. Do your part in communication. So when it's time for you to be quiet, she's not going to say anything. She's going to allow you to be quiet. Because as a leader, sometimes, ladies, if we are quiet in that space, one of the things you have to realize as us being problem solvers, sometimes we have to try to sit back for a minute and think about it, right? And we need quietness, right? And so if a man does decide to have that quiet moment, and by this time you should know your man anyway. We're not going to be guessing, right? By this time. So if you know he's a guy that is a problem solver and he has good intentions, those moments that he's quiet, it's his time to really try to figure out which way he needs to be guided. Now, if you truly believe what you believe in, you say you want a man that is God fearing and has something higher than him to feed into what he needs to do as far as directions, he has to be quiet to hear.
Yeah, for
that's
sure,
so important.
Mark. For sure. I mean, you could let him have his space and still be quiet and be present.
Right. I agree.
All it is sometimes you don't have to do all of that. So
right. So okay, so ladies, here's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna do this, right? Before I say this, now so the next phase is for us to get in with the guys, right? Down that's next, or correct? Help me out, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what I just did, right? What I just did is I took the accountability thing off the table. Right. So when we come in on Thursday, guess what? Can't no fellas, whoever come up on that platform can't be saying, well, we don't know how to be accountable. We just showed it, right? Not only did we show it, we also showed that as a man, there's ways to allow a woman to show her ability to be accountable. It's all in the approach.
Yeah.
Right. So I just showed both sides of that. Right. So when we come together on Thursday, that needs to go out. There needs to be real conversation and real talk. So go ahead, Duchess.
Solutions.
Go ahead,
Deacon Mark, I just want to make sure and make it clear. Did we cover what the men, because I want a man, did we cover, as the women that are on here that commented, thanks, Nikita, did we cover what we needed to cover? Did we do our part? Because we want to bring to the table, and did we do our part, Mark?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I think you okay, being fair, right? I think you guys did. I think you guys definitely did a great job at the accountability factor, right? And being real. I think you guys were being very genuine.
Okay.
But on the other side, I think where there may be a little bit, and and I'm just basing my own male energy I'm feeling, right? I just still, my only thing is that which all that can be ironed out through conversation between two, so it's not a big large hurdle. But one of the things that I think that there's definitely some masculine energy that's flowing. I'm being honest.
Okay.
Just being honest, right? Who, where, why is not important, but understand that when we have these conversations, right? Between now and then, let's just find a better way for people to be able to hear you. Go ahead, LaDonna.
Oh no, I didn't have anything to say.
Oh, I thought you had something.
So is there any men in the comments that would like to comment or say if we have covered it? And
I think y'all did good overall. That's
yeah. The thing about us podcast.
Thank you.
Podcasts, do you have any?
right. The main
yes.
Look, I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Right. I'm gonna ask you a question. Where is that?
Why you have to ask him? How come he can't just comment?
He did. I'm gonna get ready to pull the comment.
Okay.
He already answered that question up top.
Okay, so I was saying, like, is there any men that want to comment right now? I forgot you're hosting it and leaving it, so it kind of I forgot because I'm used to LaDonna just putting that. Sorry about that, Mark.
No, it's okay, but he answered it. He said one of the things, and from what? Okay, hold on. Just wish you
because neither one
shirt
of us
down more. For see you're great. Man, I'm not finna. There's somebody that came in here.
Shirt down. What? Who was
somebody? Some idiot that came out here. That's why it's almost getting to the time where we have to start getting like moderators. We can keep folks like that out. But so check it. So yeah, from what I know of, who is you just said it, Donna. Who is
the thing about us podcast? That's
right.
Dating.
Yeah, right. And okay, look, to answer the question, guess what? Okay, here it is right here. Boom. We all know who that is, right?
I know, but
that's Damon.
That's awesome, right? Because that's feedback, and
that's great.
We all here talking about men, so of course a male feedback is. That's what I was asking. Thank you, Damon.
Right. Great job, ladies.
Thank you, Corey.
And look, these chats,
it's
these chats right here, definitely informative. Do 100 episodes, run it up. Well, you crazy. Okay, so look, guess what, y'all? Real quick, This is an ask Marks, and I ask these ladies to ask any kind of questions. Now, I'm not answering for all men. This is my disclaimer. I can tell you, get a good feel for what it may be, but it's not spot on. But these ladies do have questions when they often wondered when it comes to men, or maybe Mark shit. But I'm only sticking to the men. But if you got a Mark question, that's fine too. And we'll see if we'll answer that one. So go ahead. Who wants to go first? I think LaDonna or somebody, or
LDZ.
Duchess. Duchess.
LDZ. LDZ.
Okay. Oh my goodness. I'm on the spot. I didn't have anything prepared, so this is just off the top of my head.
Why am I single? That's a good question. You're
Why
gonna
are you
check.
single?
Yes, I mean it's simple. Simple for me is that I'm only technically been removed from a divorce about 4 years, right? I am a man of believing in doing the work, right? And what I mean by doing the work, there are some things about me that I had to really try to identify, right?
Mhm.
One, I would definitely say year one was definitely a time for rebuilding, right? I
Mhm.
took a good 8-9 months to rebuild. It didn't take me long because I focused only on myself. And then at that time I decided that with me leaving everything I ever had, I felt like that was more important because I'm not gonna take nobody out if I'm broke. Just being honest, right? I don't waste people's time. I don't waste my time. That's one. Fellas, you hear that? You stay your broke ass at the house, all right? If you can't take it out. I'm just being honest. All right. And then two, so I would say the second, I went through a phase. My second phase was wanting to date, wanting companionship, but I used to always say this, and I was straight up with whoever I dealt with at the time was I didn't want to be responsible for no one else's feelings, right?
Ooh.
At that time, right? Only responsible feelings I wanted was mine, how I feel, right? Because when you give so much in a relationship and or marriage, the way that I felt like I did, with mistakes, right? I still feel that I gave a lot to someone, right? And
Mhm.
so I had to get myself back,
Yeah.
right? And so then shortly therefore after, I would probably say I just took you out through chronological order because that's easy because I think about stuff like this. And last year I was literally I had an Achilles surgery and ain't nowhere in heck I was gonna be hopping nowhere trying to take nobody out. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? So I'm laid up for a few months. This is how I started date night. Again, if you don't know the story, I started date night. The first ever video, you can put it up on YouTube. I had a cast on. You couldn't see nothing for the neck up, but I had a cast on because I'm a type of person that likes to stay busy. So the only thing I could do was come up with a platform. So 4 years later, here we are. Why am I single to this day? I think that there are still some things that I may need, that I am working on, but I can definitely tell you I am to the finish line and I can see the finish line of actually executing everything I've learned through this particular podcast or platform and or other things too as well. So I'm still doing the work the long way.
Great question, Nikita.
Good
Okay,
question.
I just came up with a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Mark, like, what do you think it would take for us to reach the men on this level? I know you started it like with your conversations. I know you
Mhm.
had the nigga experience.
The nigga experience.
uh,
Never ignorant getting goals accomplished.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like, how do you, or is that even a goal of yours? But it is of ours. Like
What's that?
we can't have all these healed women and then the men still over there, traumatized. So how do we reach the men?
By by actually setting a higher bar.
Mm.
They're not gonna listen to you. Sorry.
But then
Right?
we,
You're gonna have to get with your friends, right? Every friend needs to be accountable for each friend, right? If
okay.
every Meaning that if you see your friend really doing some sort of
Mom, you can.
destructive behavior, right? Call it out. Don't skate around it. I think a lot of sometimes, and I'm saying this way because I don't think you can really tell a man really too much of anything if it's so much easier over here. It's virtually impossible.
Yeah.
It's virtually impossible. I'm just getting you from a male's perspective, right? Again, in so many cases that we can be very, very lazy. Understanding relationships is one of them, right? So who are the teachers, right? Women are the teachers of the world. Let's be honest, right? Your mama taught you everything, right? So sometimes similar, if we hate our mama, guess what? We probably remember I always say how you treat his mama, right? Remember I'll say that, right? So or okay, how he treats his mother is important. That's because of the influence that his mother had. So guess what? He wants to find a woman that's similar within that circle as his mother. He thinks his mother has certain standards and stuff, or he thinks this. But guess what? Your mama did some shit you probably don't even need to know. Just being honest. But we're gonna keep that vision in our mind as everyone being like our mother, if that makes sense. And I'm not shifting the blame on y'all, but I can probably say hypothetically, that's the only way I can see it. Or if other men set the example of what we have to do as men, that would be the only other way. But it still have to be something that we need to be accountable for us. We still not doing that.
Yeah, and it's hard because from the woman's perspective, the higher we raise our standards, then it's like, we're told that, oh, your standards are too high. That's why you'll, always be single. So it's like, again, I know it's the noise, it's the psyop, it is the, the propaganda. But are you saying that real men, not real men,
date night.
Real man, what?
Yeah, I'm sorry, my hotline blinging. I'm sorry.
Right, see, go ahead.
Look, I sent this to every
got
man.
the tatas out and they calling.
Go
ahead.
They're not out. They're in.
Go ahead.
No, I sent this to every man I know in my phone. So it should be some men on this call right now listening to this good information. And if we got to draw them out with a little cleavage and a little, some beautiful women so they can get this message, let's do it. If that's what it's going to take. But what I was saying is that I feel like I'm asking you from your perspective, as women say, okay, well, we're not going to deal with this. Does that limit our dating pool even further? Because it's already, for the women with standards, it's already small. So it's like,
I mean, that's again, that's such a, if you ask me from my perspective, I just feel that to even add on to this, I'm glad she said what happened to men taking initiative. It was never taking the initiative was really never really taught in a lot of households to take charge, right? Because mother did everything for us, right? This is the side effect of a single mother, right? Because our single mother, a single mother she tries to play both roles, right? And she's extra soft, right? And she's gonna secure you, she's gonna bail you out, right? Where if the father was there, then the father would be that thing will tell you, hey son, get up, pick yourself up, go out here and make best of yourself, so and so. But because of the other side, this is the effect of it. So the initiative part isn't there because mama did so much. It's a lot of mama's boys out here. Y'all know that. Why are we acting like y'all don't know that? Right? Not you, but just in general, right? There's a lot of, because part of being a man in this is being a problem solver. Being a problem solver is thinking outside of the box. But it's different when you have somebody that was thinking for you. And that's a pattern. And it gets up to this point now. We just don't never take the initiative to do right and to break those and to identify. Don't know. It's hard for a lot of people to admit where they are in life, period, man or woman. Right? So just imagine as a man, as y'all, as masculine energy, it's or egos. If you don't lower your ego, you ain't gonna never get it right. That's what I just say to most men. You gotta lower the ego.
Okay.
Go ahead. What type of man would you like to come on the platform? Describe them.
Are we still going through? Okay.
But we gotta involve every. No, I'm waiting on y'all. The next question.
Oh, the next question. Okay.
Right.
JY, you want to go or you want me to go?
I think I just want to ask, like, at the age, because we're kind of all on the same age.
I'm 50.
You get a lot of stuff as you get older. Don't even matter how you look. You know, it's just the age thing where you think it's really true that men really count you out after a certain age, you know, or you don't qualify for things when it comes to like men after you become, do things expire really in their head, or is this just a personal thing? Like, do you have any buddies and stuff that just kind of like, because I've been counted out of stuff for men just because of my age, you know, and then
That's a great question.
You
Go
know,
ahead.
you just want to know, because people tell me all the time, like, you know, you either too old or you too young. It's just always wrong. You know,
Do you mind me asking how old are you?
I'm 41.
41.
Yeah. You know, sometimes it's when you got one child, you know, and you don't have a man, or if you ain't never been married, it's a problem. You ain't got no kids, you ain't been married, it's a problem. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Before you got over 40, you old, you know, it's like all these things, and it's just like.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, and then I'm gonna ask you a question, but I got just for your own understanding. So we've established that sometimes we as men we like things easier, right? Mm-hmm. So what happens is I think that mindset is based on the fact that, because for the most part, most women, especially in relationships, you guys have poured so much into men at an early age, right? Mm-hmm. And then when it didn't work out for you, some women carry that through their dating, through their as they get older, right? Where you say, well, I'm not going to do this like I did before, which is understandable, especially if you did it for the right person.
Right.
But what happens is, because we like it easier in our mind, for whatever reason, right, wrong, or indifferent, it can be deemed as being easier to deal with someone with less of that than it is with that. You get what I'm saying? It's a lot easier for us to say, okay, I'm gonna probably date someone younger. They don't have as much stuff they got to deal with. You see what I'm saying? In comparison to someone that's older.
I thought it was more to that. I thought it was more than just that explanation, because that's what I've heard. But that majority speaking, I just don't. That's where that's coming from. Like, that seems to be the
okay. So let me explain to you why. Because our testosterone levels drop and the estrogen kicks in. We don't want to deal with a whole lot less. Then okay. So we all have a father or a grandfather, and you notice how your father at one point was a holy roller around the house and did what he wanted to do, but when he got older, he's like this little puppy now. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because he's gotten to the point he's like, you got it, baby. I don't even want to deal with all that extra stuff. So just imagine that being single. You see what I'm saying? Now that's from that perspective, and the simple fact that, unfortunately, right, which is amazing sometimes, men may also look at it from the physical aspect, because we all age. It's now, excuse me, I'm gonna say this especially to the guys who don't work out. Like you can't use this, right? If you ain't looking like you want the one you want, then you got, take that off the table, okay? Because you ain't doing what you're supposed to do, right?
Right.
But
belly at home.
Right. So my point is that from that perspective, from the physical side, the things that we desire physically, it seems to a lot of men that dissipates or it leaves, right? Gravity kicks in. Let's be honest, right? That's everybody, men and women, right? So we're physical creatures. So just to see something a little bit more tighter and fitter, maybe a little bit more appealing. That don't mean it's right. Remember how we think sometimes, right? Yes, for some part, there's some very logical thinkers out there, but for the most part, we are definitely physical beings. Because some of the stuff I see that guys put up with, especially for younger women, is amazing to me. That you would even put up with some stuff like that, right? But back to the other part of that, just want to test that last part again. Yes, it is the amount of things that you guys have probably experienced more. We just don't want to deal with a whole lot of it, which is unfortunate, because I would hope that as a male, you at least attempt, right? Because that goes back to the diffuser. See, I'm throwing it back on the men too, because you got to learn how to understand. She's been through these things. What can I do to try to lower her guard? How can I be a so-and-so? How can I be a listener? How can I be a communicator? Now, if that happens and we do that and y'all still acting a certain kind of way, and you bring that stuff over here, then you deserve to be left alone.
Yeah, because like I get the you don't have to do it a lot when you're dealing with younger girls, but as an older man, that younger girl can't have your back either. If they're
okay, let me say this. I'm glad you brought that up. I'll say this. Through my experience in dating, I would definitely say this, right? They are similar to what you were when you were younger. And we down for you, right? Remember, you were there, right? So they're there, and guess what? They're there, but they also have resources too, right? I don't run into I went through my stint of dating young women. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I can't tell you when neither one of them didn't really have the resources that they have. I didn't want them for their resources. They didn't want me for their resources. So they can be deemed at such a young age, because we've all been there. Because I hear either old, women that are a lot more mature, they typically say, I've done this before. Remember, you did that for when you was in your 30s. So it's not a whole lot.
Some of us, because our lives are completely different. I know I have a cousin that is 10 years younger than me. She's married to military husband with 4 kids. You see what I'm saying? 10 years younger than me. So I see how the age thing now is different. You got 22-year-olds making more money than the average 45-year-old woman too. You see how these things is based on the person itself.
Right.
So when you move forward and you talk about, because when I was my first relationship, I dealt with a man. I was 20. I was 26. And the man I was talking to was 50 years old.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So I knew what he wanted from me, but like you said, he had all those things that he needed, and all he needed me for was the things that he needed me for, and I had them because I was, I just had what he needed. Fast forward, he used to tell me, I don't want no old woman, meaning like he wouldn't date me right now if I,
stupid, right?
And he's 67 now.
Pull it up, JY. Pull it up.
So, but let me ask you a question. Why is it? And it's for each and one of you, as you just said in the country, each and one of you. Why is it that women don't want to date, and you guys switch it back? I'm just curious because you just made a good point. You're young to a man that's 65, LaDonna. Duchess, you're younger than someone you're young to them. So why y'all don't want to deal with them? Because guess what? The ones at 50 may want to go young. So I'm sure the 60-year-olds want to go in their 45.
That's a great question for next Thursday.
I have 65-year-old clients, female clients that travel, go to Martha's Vineyard, 65 years old, nice looking women. They don't want to date nobody that's their age. They're dating guys that's 30 something years old. In the morning,
yeah, let's move to the next question because I'm gonna leave y'all alone with that.
I just wanted to respond.
Go ahead, LaDonna.
Okay. So for me, I think there can be exceptions, and I would never say that I would not date a man of that age. I think that as long as we have those things that I would look for as far as like compatibility factors, chemistry.
Look at this shit. Go ahead.
She got that from me, but yes.
Go ahead, LaDonna. I'm sorry.
Because our generation, like we don't look our age, and so I think that physically, I wouldn't say that someone in your middle 60s, I wouldn't be attracted to. I can't say that because I wouldn't know probably just looking at them. But yeah, those compatibility factors, like, do we listen to the same music? Do we like to do the same things? Do we have the same energy? Because my friends will tell you, like, I turns up. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to be able to keep up with that, or it's like it might become, a problem in our relationship. So I think that would be, things like that, just our ability to be compatible.
So you're flexible in your range then, according to what you just said.
Well, age was never like a thing on my what was it, like my deal breakers.
Okay, so you're flexible.
You asked a range, so I gave you one, but that was
Mark.
flexible.
Okay,
Mark
you are flexible.
know.
It's my
Mark
right.
wants to know.
I'm just asking you're flexible. That's all
Mark
I want.
Wants to know.
I'm flexible.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. That's all I want to know.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So what's the next question?
It's my turn, I think.
It's your turn, Duchess.
For you, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Mark.
Yes.
Describe for yourself or for the men, if you speak for the men, a companion and the difference between a wife. Describe a companion, describe a wife, if there's any difference.
I mean, I think a companion is would I think a wife should have we should have companionship, right? I think they go hand in hand, right? A wife is just a title. A companionship is an act.
What do you
right?
need to be a wife? What do you need to? What classifies that title?
Someone that is supportive, right? For me, I think that's important. I think that's important for most men is that as hunters, when we go out into the world, and this only applies for men that are actually out here getting it. This ain't for those dudes, right? So for those who are designed to be hunters, like we are designed to be, the support is very important to us, and a lot of times the support can be simply having my favorite meal when I get home, or probably allowing me to decompress for a moment when I walk through the door, right? Especially if you have children or you have kids. Let's say from me starting off, I have to see how supportive you are in what I have going on with my business, right? So those are wife traits, right? Allow me to work within that space.
Basically was the first one then. So a
Not
wife.
a chef.
Being a chef or catering to making sure that you got what you need, right?
Well, I did that from a marriage aspect. Well, I want to go back toward the dating part. The dating part would be the supportive aspect of allowing me to work in the space to develop and continue to develop my business.
Okay.
Right. Also, one who can see things before I can see it. That's important to me.
Ooh.
Right. That's important to me. Because I listen. Right now, here's the thing. Again, if I'm dating you, that means you're probably balanced enough in order to be in tune to what it is that you're supposed to be your part. So if that's the case, then I'm gonna listen. Now, even if I have a question about it, my questioning is me. Okay, I'll say this, and this is for fellas, right? If you have a woman that sees something that you can't see, instead of turning it down, ask her a question of how she got there. How did you come up with what you saw? Right? And typically what happens if a person can lay it out for you, it's coming from a balanced place. But if a person can't really get it together, it's coming from an emotional place. And when you come from an emotional place, then it's very difficult to really hear who and what you are saying from an emotional standpoint, right? So for me, is to have vision and see things I can't see. You're going to have to use that intuition discernment a little bit more. So to influence a better decision in order for me to make it manifest into what it should be. And you can see those while dating.
I pulled my pen out for that. So we're going to come back to that, you and I. We're gonna get back.
We can get to it now.
No, backstage.
Can I follow it?
Okay, go ahead. Follow it up.
So everything that you described, as far as like a wife, do you look for those traits before you make her a wife?
I have to feel those traits, right? And feel it. I don't look for anything now. I attract it. You see what I'm saying? And if I choose to, because I typically choose a type of woman that's fit around what those things anyway. I don't keep women around just to be keeping them around, if that makes sense, right? I don't have time for stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? So if I am giving you a certain space or give you that certain time, then we are on the road, but there are a couple things that I do look for to seal the deal. And I can let y'all in on that one. That will prevent me, which would be the adverse situations, learning how to handle that, because we're going to have adverse situations. I think that's important for most men too. How are you going to act when it goes left?
Any men want to jump in on that?
Well,
I'm building a list. I didn't have one of what men feel that a wife is. providing that comfort zone when they come home to make sure that they are met with the things that they need and desire. I got that. And I think that's important. And I feel like I've done that and can continuously do that. Being supportive all day, see things before they do. I need to work on that, seeing things before that they see them, because I can see that when they bring it to me, Mark, I feel like I can see it and then have a discussion about it. But maybe that's not even what he wants. Maybe he wants you to see it prior, and then he already knows that it's there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
give the suggestion. Just give a suggestion of what you think, right?
Yeah.
And his response is going to tell you if you're even respected. That still goes back to who you choose in dating, right? So let's just say from a dating standpoint, right? If you're with a guy and there's a certain type of guy that you like, let's say for instance you found that guy, right? One of the biggest disconnections that women don't understand, they have to really understand it, especially when guys that are already successful, is that in their mind, for whatever strange reason, they believe that wherever they've gotten to, they got to without you, right? Yeah. So it's kind of hard for you to really to kind of have that type of role with certain type of men, right? But let's just say, for instance, in dating, right? You can tell that in dating, so you don't get into those situations, right? So if you're dating someone and you get to know a person and they have a business or whatever they're doing, if you make a suggestion, watch the body language. Never mind the mouth, right? Now, if they say something, then you pay attention to what they're saying. But you know how it is. We're going to mold things around the things that you want, right? We're gonna do it, right? But watch the actions. Watch if what you said he's implementing. If he don't implement it after a certain amount of time, don't think that he's gonna do it when y'all get married or what. It's not. It doesn't work like that. Remember, the husband and wife thing starts now.
I like that, and I like that. And I when I was on your show, my homework was to ask men that were married. These are friends of mine. So the Robinsons, the Jacksons, the Rogiers, you know what I mean? The Collins family. These are people that have been married 15 years plus. And some of the things that the husband said, it's different. You know what I mean? But you have to put all that together.
You got to put it all together.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's pieces that come together. Shout out to all those families too I just mentioned, because I know you all are watching.
Right, but as single people, definitely stuff we have to put in our hat, right? But here's the dangerous part about it, right? They had another set of issues to deal with before they got married, because dating isn't the same it was 15, 20 years ago. Dating was different, right? So how they got to that point is going to be different for you.
Of course.
Because you got because I have to remind people that, like, it's good to take that information on how to sustain a relationship.
Yes, because knowledge is key.
Right. But we still got to get to that first part first. Yeah. We got to get over that hump first, right? Yes. Right. You put that in your safe deposit box, right?
I file it. Exactly.
File that back, right? So let's go back to the beginning of 2024, what it looks like today, and how do we not find ourselves in bad situations, right? Or picking or people or fueling into the war, like we're talking about.
No
tonight,
blame,
right?
no blame,
right. No blame, no accountability. So my point is that let's find these things that we desire. Like for me, that's easy for me to see those things, for me to say, okay, I can move forward with this person, or I can't move forward with this person on the front end before we even get down months later, because it's going to show itself after a while. You know what it is. Right. Sometimes I literally throw stuff out to anytime I've dated, right? I've thrown stuff out just to see what type of reaction I'm gonna get. And let me tell you how. It's not manipulating the situation, anything else. I'm a type of person that's gonna speak what I speak, and I'm gonna stand on it. And I don't have a fear of loss, first of all. I can't lose nothing I ain't never had, right? So I'm gonna tell you what it is. So when I tell you what it is, then at that point, some of my discussions may go into realms that may be uncomfortable. Have an uncomfortable conversation with someone, y'all. I guarantee you it's gonna show you who you're dealing with. But don't let them see you coming. That's another thing. You got to kind of do it in a roundabout way that They don't see you coming, but in the back of your mind, watch the reactions. You're gonna see. It's gonna tell you everything. Because remember, it's all good when we having fun, y'all.
Right.
But when it's going down, it's when it's really what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I hear you.
Thank you, Mark. You are, you know what?
Hush.
Flowers. I'm sending you some flowers right now. Flowers.
No, y'all the flowers. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to put soil on it and put some water in it for everybody to grow. That's all I'm doing. And guess what? I'm growing too. I'm resoiling myself. So I'm looking at y'all. I'm learning things. It ain't about me. It's about us. You know what I mean? It's about both genders. I think that we have a communication problem. I think we fit into a lot of bullshit in our minds and also across the internet. How they say it, the internet. The internet got y'all met up. Leave it alone. It's programming.
Yeah. Can I? Oh no, Jamara, you got a question. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jamara.
I don't. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So just based on like our conversations that we've had for the past couple of weeks on this, War of Black Love, are there any like myths or like things that's going around the internet? How you say it? Internet. That about Black women that you want us to address that maybe we haven't yet?
You picked the guy that don't believe in the myths. I don't believe in them.
Okay, well that you've heard.
But what I've heard, I mean,
people that believe that are watching.
I mean, pick one. I don't know. I don't listen, y'all. Honestly, it may sound like I'm like capping or whatever, but I'm being honest. Like I see it, but I forget about it, y'all. I really do. I'm only concerned. I'm a horse with blinders on. I'm sorry.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? I'm a horse with blinders on. I know what's going on out there, but I don't pay no attention because that ain't me. You know what I'm saying? You'll never hear me say. You'll never ever hear me say one over the other without addressing both sides of the other, meaning that the negative and positives, right? So one of the biggest myths, well, y'all, you answered one of the biggest ones, honestly, for me earlier, which was the age thing. Why, like, y'all don't want to date older? Why is that? Like that's one of like I could never understand that, right? Because my uncle is 70, right? He's one of my mentors, right? I really truly feel like when it comes from a business mindset, and I want to call him is on that. Let me tell y'all something. He was divorced when I was probably 10. He's never been married again, right? And as far as I've been knowing him since he's in the 60s, I've been seeing 60s and 70s. It's been younger women come through the house. I'd be like, damn, when you finish with her, what's up, man? You know what I'm saying? But no, but they young, right? And so when I hear women say that, I know older men, and I know older men that ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's that you address that for me.
Yeah,
that's the only one.
Yeah, I think there's something going around the internet. I think it's there, right? About like older men like wanting hospice wives is what they call it.
Oh, okay, never heard that.
Yeah, it's a term. I just heard it for the first time the other day. So it's like basically like men are like playing the field and till they get up in age, and now they want a woman to basically take care of them in their old age. And so of course, they might go like, they might go like their age, but or 10 years down. Yeah, a nurse and not a wife. And so I think that plays into a part of like why some women do not want to date older, because like we feel like we still got like a lot of life in us. Like we want to get out here, like we want to travel, we want to do this, we want to do that. We don't want to be taking care of Paw.
Right. If I ever, let me say something. If for some strange reason I'm 70, I'm by myself. Excuse me, I'll never be myself because I have enough money to have what I want. So it don't really, it won't matter. I just buy me one chick. I mean, it's how much easier. You know what I mean? So I mean, so I'm not afraid to be alone because I don't want I don't need no extra stuff anyway. You know, I'd rather be, you know how y'all say, I'd rather be by myself with dealing with no bullshit. I feel the same way.
But
I just gotta make sure my paper will be straight, you know, for me to just say, you know what, come on over here. You need some school, you need some school supplies for your master's degree, doctorate degree, baby.
but Mark, that's not good either, because it's
Why
like,
not?
well, no, because if you're saying that you're doing that at the expense of like not like working on yourself, building and actually trying to seek a real relationship before you get to that point, right? So I think that's
I
like,
didn't say that.
no, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying, like, if a man, for example, gets to his 70s and he's been playing this whole time, he wasn't trying to look for a wife, as you mentioned, what you're looking for, or build with someone. And then he just like waits until he gets it up to that age because he knows he's going to have money to buy what he wants, to buy companionship. Then that's not necessarily good either. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I guess you didn't. I guess you missed the part. Maybe you was in the back class making airplanes. This is what I said. I said that if for some strange reason, didn't I just say that? I started there. I said for some strange reason, if it ever turned out that way, I would be okay with that. Is all I said.
Yeah.
And I also preface it by saying that I don't want to be in a situation and look up and be stuck in a situation that I'm not happy as well. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I think that's fair.
That is fair. No, and I guess I'm sorry. Let me explain what I was saying. In your situation, the way you describe it, that makes sense.
I described it like that earlier.
Yeah, but the hospice wives thing, I think that came about, like the way it's described is like these men who are not spending like their good years actually trying to build and grow with someone, and their whole plan is, well, when I get to 70, I'm gonna just pay for it.
Right. I don't think that's
which is what the person said in the chat. The person
I understand
said
that,
in the chat.
but I'm gonna say this from my personal experience knowing these men. I don't think that in some cases that's correct, but I don't think that's enough to even acknowledge to a point that it's like that all the way across the board. It's not.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Why is it not okay though? Why is it not okay? Because I get that problem too. I feel the same way, and I'm a female. I'm not worried about if I get old and have to be with someone. I don't know where is the safe place for me to be able to say that, but it never is. But I can say it, and I've been consistent about this one thing. I'm not worried. It doesn't worry me to worry if I have to grow old without having someone. You see what I'm saying? I don't feel like I'm gonna be lacking of anything if it just so happens. It's not a do all be all, for me at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. I'll have things in line to make sure that I'm taken care of. That's just it.
Right. And you prepare that either way, you prepare it. Because remember, that's always been the thing. You're gonna prepare yourself in a way to take care of you or someone else, or take care of yourself by yourself.
Yeah.
We don't want to force ourselves into bad relationships, y'all. Let's just be honest.
No.
Right. That's all I'm saying. Yes, I am. And then too, for those who have to understand this, and I will definitely say this as a man. And one of the things I prefaced, if you was here before we did offering early in church on this platform, I also prefaced to say that I am working on to be a husband. I think I said that.
You did.
So we got right. So, but we also have to we have to address both sides. It's fair. It's only fair to ourselves if we balance it out. You know what I mean? And I don't think no one should ever be in a situation they want to. The hospice stuff that's some weird ass niggas out there. Anyway,
that is so.
Yeah, y'all. Every year is some word. I wonder what the word is gonna be in the next 6 months, y'all. We're gonna go back and discuss that word. What's that?
Diddy?
Yeah, no Diddy.
No Diddy.
Right. No Diddy. Yeah, I want to put the word. Well, last year the word was narcissist. Everybody used it. It was all over the YouTube. That term was everywhere. I was just like, you're a narcissist for saying it. You know what I'm saying? Like, thanks. You know what I'm saying? So,
this is a great conversation.
Yeah, it's a great conversation. And we went longer than I probably thought, but it's so effortless. It was an effortless conversation. I think that we showed a lot. You know what I mean? I think that this definitely sets up the next one, so we can all take some things off the table. The men will probably know that you have. I will definitely vouch for y'all and say y'all have definitely been accountable. And accountability also doesn't look like you knowing everybody's business. That's not accountable, y'all. That's just being nosy, right? People can actually bring things out and say, these are some of the things I made mistakes. This is what I did, and I am trying to learn from those things. That's accountability.
Yeah. Yeah, this is great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Jay Wow. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Ladonna. Thank you, everybody in the chat.
Yeah, this was amazing.
Yeah.
I think that we accomplished everything we set out to do. I hope I did not step on your toes too much, Mark. I tried to be quiet. Okay, good.
No, you actually did.
Thank you.
You got on them Timberlands today.
No, I got some steel toes for her.
I was about to say steel toes first. I was gonna say
I got one steel toe for her in an ironclad boot for you, Dusty.
Wait a minute.
All of that for my birthday?
Yeah, and Christmas. All right.
It was just my birthday though.
Well, when your birthday?
It's okay. We'll talk about it later.
Okay,
it was last month.
Bad. Happy birthday, BURFDAY.
But Jamira has a birthday coming up.
Oh yes.
I'm celebrating.
So I just really, I want to thank my friends, Duchess
and
Jamira. This is so out of their character. They don't do stuff like this. They don't come on lives and share their personal feelings about this. Is like girlfriend talk that we have amongst each other, but it's like this. I feel like this is therapeutic, not just for us, but for those that are watching. So thank you so much for coming. Thank you for being transparent. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being open. I love y'all.
Right. Also, and correct me. I want to just say this. My platform and LaDonna's platform, honestly, is for everybody. Right. We're just moderators, right?
Yeah.
And what I mean by we're moderators, that means, listen, ladies, gentlemen, if you have some very unique people that you may know, invite them. Hey, reach out to one of us. We can do something similar to this. We really want to make the platform as being interactive as possible.
Yes.
Right. We don't want to be just holding the microphone, tell you what women should be doing, the kitchen and the bedroom, and men need to be providing and all this other stuff. Like we're not going to do this. This is not for this. This is for everybody to actually come on, chime in, get in the chat. If you don't want to come on camera, get in the chat, share it with your friends. And I'm sure everybody that has been on this particular platform knows someone that may need at least a spark or some type of advice to help them move to the next stage. Yeah. And these platforms are for that.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, if we could just create and like inspire 100 healthy Black families, do you know how that would change the trajectory of where we're going?
Right.
And I want my friends to be the first, the first 15 that we like for real. Like I want that for y'all. I want that for us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and Duchess, I'm gonna go ahead and say, you are definitely in a lot of areas, and you putting yourself out really is a testimony of how this can be somewhat of a help to someone else. Remember, I told you that. I keep telling you the same thing. What you're doing is really actually helping people, and the courage you have shown from the back room to the front room has been definitely some growth. And guess what? And it looks like you're going places. So I just wanted to kind of know.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Mark love the ladies.
Of course. LL Marq Weaver.
We have a date night dinner. We have a date night dinner somewhere.
Right.
And thank you, Mark. Thank you for listening. Thank you for just being an advocate for us women, an ally at times.
Both
Um,
ways.
and yeah, this is
A daddy got to pull the belt out every once in a while.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
Stop. I'm sorry. Didn't I tell your ass to put that nigga?
Okay, and thank you everybody for joining. Everyone that's on Marq's platform that always support. Thank you. I know y'all don't know me, but I'm family now. Everybody that Dutch and Jamira that y'all shared this with, that's in the comments. All of my friends, I see you, Nikita, Court. Like this. Thank you everybody for listening and for supporting us. And
Absolutely.
we're not done. We're just getting started.
Yay. Night night.
Night night.
Bye, babe. Thank y'all.
Jamira, don't hang up yet. Just
The